good. Input good. Okay, should have sound on everything. Yay.
Did you guys did you get involved in combat last week, or it was all role
A
playing?
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some combat.
Nothing too spicy.
Nothing too intense. Yeah.
So yeah, let's see.
Slashy dashy stuff.
I tried to sum it up pretty good for you in the Facebook Messenger earlier.
That
but,
was very succinct.
like, if it
I was like,
yeah.
oh wow, yeah, that's that. I was like, that all took a long time though. There's a lot of stuff that happened, but it's all summed up in a paragraph.
It's pretty
amazing.
much what
Yeah.
my outline of my notes from last week looked like. It was like it was slightly better written than my outline, but that's about it.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm looking at it now and I'm like, how did I get anything done from this? It's awesome. It's just
That summary itself was great storytelling, let alone the
Yeah, right.
let alone the actual game.
I am a chaotic neutral DM to be sure. Yeah, so yeah, that was basically how it went down. It was like you guys were traveling, the warlord Raga Draga came after you. And this is good too because anybody that actually might ever be following this series that was like, what the fuck? Where did that episode go? Like this, yeah, I forgot to record it. Sorry, YouTube.
Right.
So yeah, you're attacked by the warlord Raga Draga, but you easily outpaced him on your bikes. As I don't know whoever wrote the campaign, but they didn't think about the fact that your bikes were faster than the large war machine. You then came to a location where several trees were spawning abyssal chicken sacks. Yes, that's a thing. They were plopping out onto the ground. Like, just picture, like, the scene from Gremlins where, like, they're splitting up because they got wet. It's kind of like that,
Yeah.
except for, like, they're just falling off from tree. Or, like, a better one would be Ernest Scared Stupid. Like, the troll sacks that are falling off the tree. That's what it looked
Oh
like.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Throwback, right? Deep cuts.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Um,
I can't believe that was still clunking around in there too.
Yeah.
You dug it up.
Yep.
Like, geez, that was in there. Oh.
Yeah, oh god, my brain's full of dusty nightmares like that. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, surrounding these trees and trying to essentially destroy these abyssal trees. And when I say abyssal, of course, I mean coming from the abyss, which is where the planes of all the demons come from. Like the demons come from the abyss, the devils come from the nine hells, as we've briefly discussed. So these devils are out there essentially firefighting, you know, doing damage control on these demons. They're throwing beds of coal at the base of these trees, and they had been picking on a particular one devil that was working with them and kind of treating him poorly. And that's where you stepped in, Maggie. You said, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm Maggie. That shit don't fly."
Yeah, we were all like, yeah, Maggie wouldn't let this go.
Yeah, like everybody else was like, "Yeah," and I was like, I think Maggie might have an issue with this, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's true."
Yeah, she would.
Remind me, the devils are the chaotic or the lawful
The
evil
lawful ones, yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like when you
And
picture
so-
a devil, it's like the guy in the business suit with the pointed mustache trying to get you to sign a contract. When you picture the demon, it's like the shit from Evil Dead that wants to swallow your soul.
Yeah. And so the devils were fucking up the demons, but they were also fucking up a good
Yeah, it was
devil.
another
Well,
devil.
yeah, because it's like a hazing at work. They were like construction worker devils that were like, back to blue type of lawful evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's succinct right there. Yeah, so those devils had been picking on this one, and you guys had spied him trying to hide away one of these abyssal chickens, trying to save it because he didn't want to have to kill this abyssal chicken because in his heart that was wrong. I don't know. I didn't write the story. So you guys proceeded to kind of fuck shit up. You told them to leave him alone, and in exchange, this chaotic good devil, or he decided to lead you to this wizard Mordenkainen, residing at the Tower of Erm. Once you got there, you discovered that Reggie had made a deal with Mordenkainen many years ago in order to become the staff that he is today. And so that led to a little bit of tension, I think, between Arianth and Mordenkainen. Arianth seemed very set on getting Reggie's soul back from him, as the deal was that at the end of Reggie collecting all 7 pieces, his soul would be Mordenkainen's to do with what he wished. Mordenkainen, however, revealed that he had, in his journeys throughout Avernus, collected many of these soul coins and that he didn't really need Reggie's soul anymore. So if the characters wanted to do him a small favor by checking on this other wizard that he had heard about, then he would consider it a done deal, and Reggie's soul would be returned to him when his quest was done.
Oh yeah.
And the last thing that happened, I believe, was you guys traveled to this obelisk where we are now. It is surrounded by 8 of these standing stones, and essentially, I think how this went down. The human-looking wizard inside eventually revealed himself, in fact, to be a Balgura demon, a kind of nasty ape-looking creature. Balgura devil. There we go. See, I do it still. He told you that he had been imprisoned there by Bell, who was sort of had enmity for Zariel taking over his old job. Bell was her predecessor as the Archdevil of Avernus, the first layer of the Nine Hells. And this wizard, who called himself Ubalax. Yeah, Ubalax. He eventually let go of the information that there was, in fact, nearby a person who, he knows a guy who knows a guy, essentially. And he told you that if you would be willing to perform this experiment with him to see if it would allow him to escape, as Bell had told him that there was a way for him to escape if only he knew what the answer was. And he's been performing rituals here ever since trying to escape. He asked each of you to touch one of the standing stones, and that's kind of where we left off. And Ariat seemed pretty opposed to it, as I remember. She was like giving him the ninth degree about why anybody should touch these stones. She was very hesitant that nobody go inside the circle, as it seemed like this was some sort of a dimensional prison of sorts for this particular devil. I think that's got us caught up.
Did Ariane decide to touch it though?
That's literally I think where we
so.
left off. Yeah, like you guys were about a half a day into since your long rest. And you'd just been traveling for most of the day.
She was like kind of still in the process of vetting this guy and seeing if we can, proceed.
Yeah.
Trusting him.
All right.
And she should be here in a few minutes, so I guess we'll just let her pick up where she left off.
I bet Maggie's going to follow Ariane's lead in that because it sounds like some shit outside of her ken.
Well, and yeah, I would assume that Maggie, to some extent, is just distrustful of everyone here, being that they're all demons and devils, and completely the opposite of what she stands for.
Yeah.
Well, until Jen gets here, we can go over on your travels, probably riding one on the back of each of your bikes. Your whatever the hell those bikes are called, the Devil's Rides. You've had this other group of, like I said, 4.5. There is, of course, Lulu the Hollyphant, this small winged elephant. Like, she basically looks like Dumbo, but with wings. And she's super adorable. Umbra loves her. And let's see. And we found out that Abyssal Chickens and her do not particularly get along. So the rest of the...
Who are the other 4?
So the other 4 are a group that you met at Mordenkainen's tower. This is the other part that I forgot to say anything about. When you reached the Tower of there was a brief period where there was several demons outside of it, and it seems that Mordenkainen throws down these scrolls that are like sort of like work orders, and he pays them based on the work that they accomplish for him, whatever that is, you don't really know. But also amongst this crowd was a group of other adventurers that had been making their way through Avernus. They had made their way through the city of El Terrell as it was pulled down into Avernus. El Terrell being the city that you saw on the ceiling, I think two episodes ago. And the tale goes that essentially El Terrell was literally pulled down into the plain of Avernus, and that the people of El Terrell are like still in the city, and that the demons and devils blood war has essentially kind of coalesced on this city and they're trying to get as many of those souls as they can while there's this fresh city full of souls down here. So these 4 adventurers were Sea Boiler, a Fire Genasi warlock. She seems kind of dark and brooding and has a bit of a temper. Galvana, the Dwarven paladin. She, you know, looks like a Dwarven paladin. You can't discern exactly which deity that she worships. You don't recognize any of the arcane, or not arcane, the clerical objects on her. I don't know if it's going to come up on here. There we go. Patankin, who is a human swashbuckler, although he is a human kind of from. He doesn't look very much like many of the humans that are around the lands where you're from. He has kind of like these foreign features to him. And then Drobrer, the half-orc rogue, who doesn't speak English or doesn't speak Common particularly well, but he can kind of make do with gesturing and pointing. And he has, on your journey, has proved himself several times to be pretty helpful with tracking and things like that. So yeah, that's the other party that's kind of hanging out with you. I actually, if you guys want to check out their stats at all, added them into our campaign, which I didn't know that I could do. I had to send myself the link on D&D Beyond and then continue to refresh the page over and over again until I could add them all.
Huh.
What did I say his name is?
Are you playing them or?
Yeah,
How are they being-
they're officially NPCs, so yeah. And as far as like combat and stuff, I don't know how much that they will help out. I think it might be a situation where like, you guys can look through them, and if you have an idea, you can be like, hey, you should do this, and that's fine, because I would probably do that too if I thought of it.
Got it.
It's just something fun to play around with, basically. And that
Yeah.
way, if you guys find yourself suddenly outnumbered, let's say. Not saying that's going to happen. Not saying it's not going to happen.
Rune Knight is a swashbuckler.
Well, yeah, I forgot to change that. So yeah, he's supposed to be a swashbuckler, but when I was creating the character, it came up with Rune Knight. So I'm gonna say he's dressed like a swashbuckler. He's got like the feathered hat and like the rapier and stuff. But yeah, skins,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also,
That's-
as you guys are kind of convening here, I'll just say Tohan gets carried off by a giant wasp for this session. We'll do it that way.
Okay.
And he's like, don't worry, guys, it's fine. Don't follow me.
I just say, poor wasp.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's probably exactly what you guys would think. Like, oh, that's not going to end well for that nest. Maybe if Nick's not busy during the week, we'll just play just an hour-long session of him just murdering hell wasps. We'll just go for high score. We'll see how many he can get. It's like a bonus level.
Right. And they just keep, as the level progresses, more spawn at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It just doubles
To the point where like just by virtue of the algorithm, everyone's gonna fail at some point. It's just like how long can you go before you do?
Yeah, it's that way, like zombie wave defender type game.
Whack a rat.
That would be really fun to do with like some level 20 characters, just some rando characters, like pick completely randomly generated, so you have no clue what their skills or stats are going to be, and then just have every monster come at you and just have it increase. Like you start off like at a fairly appropriate level, and then just go from there. Just find every crazy monster you can.
I had an interesting idea. At least I thought it was interesting. You know how like in most games today, like there's like daily challenges and weekly challenges and stuff that are kind of randomly generated, and it's like, oh, your next 3 daily challenges are this, and you try to see if you can do all of them. I was thinking that could be really cool in a D&D campaign where like after a long rest, you would like, based on a dice roll, you would get like certain daily challenges, and you, for everyone that you met, like maybe it was a certain amount of damage that day with, you know,
Oh, like daily
whatever,
achievements
a
type
certain amount
thing.
of
Like
range, yeah, like range damage,
get 5 kills
100 points,
or
yeah, whatever.
like
And
something
then
like
like
that.
if you get all of them, you get some kind of special bonus or something, or for each one you get a little bit of experience or something, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I could see that
absolutely.
like working into a campaign.
Yeah, I've got
Hey
something
guys, sorry I
similar.
was late.
Oh, that's
Oh,
okay.
hey, Jen.
It gave us time to do
No
the
worries.
summary for Dave and for the our
Yeah.
home viewership that's over 2 digits now.
Yes. Yeah, we basically just finished the recap.
Yeah, I do like that idea of like I like anything randomly generated like that. To me,
Hmm.
makes my job as a DM easier as long as it's easy to track. That's why I'm a big fan of like
Right.
card decks. I think card decks are amazing, like these
Yeah,
specialty
totally.
decks where you can just draw a card and say, well, that's what happened, and it's
Hmm.
it's it's amazing. You know, yeah, granted it's a card deck. It might be what 100 cards, and you could just make it a list. But if I've got to look through the list, it's a lot more like time consuming and like
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it would be, but when you got to find the page, find the list, et cetera, et cetera. That's the old version of D&D. That's how it was all set up, was like these massive lists of like roll a D100 and see what happens in that scenario.
Uh-huh.
So those resources are still definitely out there, and I think somebody should convert all of them to card decks and then sell them to me. Or I should just buy a card cutting die and start making cards out of card stock.
Yeah, start making them and sell
Yeah,
them to
exactly.
everyone.
Sell them to
There
everyone.
you go.
Step
You
1,
guys
play
wouldn't sell them to
D&D.
me, so now you suckers gotta buy them from me.
Yep. Step 1, play D&D. Step 2, profit. Yeah, so Jen, we were picking up right where we left off, essentially. You guys were trying to decide, essentially, if you were willing to help this guy with his experiment of touching these funky stones that are surrounding him and see if he gets freed, or if you guys want to continue on your way towards Archons, or whatever you guys are planning on doing. It's up to you.
What was he gonna be able to do for us?
So he had told you that he knew of a place where there was a mirror that would let you contact someone who knew the location of. One second. The location of the Bleeding Citadel,
Oh,
which is
right,
where
yeah.
the Sword of Zariel is.
Right.
Gotcha.
He knows the guy who knows the guy who knows the guy.
And we know that the sword is there because he told us, or someone else told us.
It's someone else, right?
Yeah, the dude who put Reggie in the stick.
Yep, Mordenkainen.
Right. Murden, yeah, that guy.
So this is some like big powerful. This is like a very powerful devil, right?
Well, I mean, he seems like he's powerful, but he's obviously not that powerful if he's stuck in this prison of stones.
Right.
Some,
He's also like possibly Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're not really sure.
Wait, hang on, let's see. He's gonna make some gestures. Yeah.
Ooh, hey. Hoo, ha. Did some Johnny Bravo shit over there.
Yeah. Yep.
Very nice. All right, and basically, the whole thing is we have to stand by each of these stones that have a aspect of magic
Yes.
or casting.
Yep. Yeah. The 8 schools of magic are each represented, one on each of these stones.
And we don't know what will happen when these stones are invoked.
No, as a matter of fact, probably based on your last Arcana check that was an at 20, you probably don't even think he knows what he's doing. You think he's kind of doing guesswork because he seems sort of like desperate.
Why don't you touch your sketchy stones first, and then we'll see what happens when you do it.
It's like, no, it must be one person on each stone from the outside. It's got to be it.
That's what she said.
I asked him how he came to the conclusion that this would work.
Well, I mean, you know, it's there've got to be 8 of these things for some reason. The fates don't just bring 8 adventurers to me with no warning. All right,
What would happen if 7 of us showed up?
well, clearly that would be the wrong group to help free me.
I turn to the group, and it's now that we have our shielded mental thing, I say perhaps we should try contacting that wizard who sent us here in the first place and get his thoughts on this.
That sounds wise.
Sounds fine to me.
The Kenku are over here pulling donuts in their on their motorcycles just randomly.
I hop back on my bike and join them
Thanks.
in doing so.
Now you ask Sarian, do you think it's a good idea, or should we ask this devil first? Or should we
Ask
let
him.
the devil that we're going to contact? Or yeah, I don't know. Did he know that guy? Or do we know if he knows
No.
that guy?
No, he's not even the person that the guy sent us to. He sent us after one person, and this guy is someone totally different.
And do we trust the guy that sent us off in the first place?
As much as we trust anybody, he's the
Yeah.
one. The guy who we just talked to was the one who had Reggie had talked to
Right.
like hundreds of years ago, and is like a big,
Yeah.
great wizard and such.
Okay, so Maggie suggests Arianth in that secure channel thing that she mention it to this devil that they're gonna contact that guy and see what reaction they get.
Oh, well, yes, I'm sure that he would tell you that it's fine. It's, after all, he knows about such things.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I guess Maggie will cast the sending spell to that guy,
Okay, and
telling
just
him.
basically giving him the situation, the old sit
Yeah.
rep. All right.
Yep.
Mordenkainen replies with something along the lines of, well, you can't ever really trust a devil, but you can trust the devil to be a devil. If he says something's true, it's most likely true, although it may not be true in the way that you think. In the background, you can hear that One Shot Wonder song, like, don't trust a hoe, don't trust a hoe.
Aranith is leery of this whole thing, but not sure what other options we have.
Aranith, roll me a perception check.
Give me 1 second. I just gotta get a date.
Did you say that we got a long rest?
You had a long
We did
rest
before,
before
not
last
this,
session.
not this past turn. You would have already had it.
So I have a bunch of spell slots used, and that's after we took.
Yeah.
Okay.
After we took a long rest, yeah, like some of it was like healing us up from a big battle we had.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, you
I'm
healed
sorry.
me
You
a
wanted
lot.
a perception check?
Yes, please.
17.
All right, you notice Umbra has kind of wandered towards these stones, and she's over on the back side of them, and she's literally just running her hand along one, and then the next one, kind of circling around them, touching them all, like just being a kid, like probably skipping along, like slapping the stone as she runs by. And every time that she hits one of these stones, like this kind of glowy, like shock of power seems to come from where her hand strikes the stone. And she doesn't even seem to be paying attention or to notice. She's just singing some song Maybe that's where the "Don't Trust a Hoe" song came from. She's running around the thing singing that song.
Can I do an Arcana check? See
Uh,
if I can sense anything.
yeah, go ahead.
18.
Okay. You think that each of the stones does in fact represent one of the schools of magic. You also think that it's kind of slipshot. If you do this, you could benefit from it. There may be some power channeled to you from the outside realms that this thing contacts, but you also think there may be some detriment, like there's a possibility that you could be stricken with some sort of affliction from the same type of thing, because it seems that these are in fact ways to contact other planes, but you can't quite tell. You don't think that it contacts a specific plane each time. You think that it's kind of random, and it just contacts some aspect of the school of magic from that random plane. So you're taking,
So it's like,
essentially, you'd be taking a gamble as to whether or not you'd either get a boost or if you would get some sort of a detriment.
I mean, are we talking like the possibility of death here, or?
You don't think it's anything that extreme, but you think that there could be some very inconvenient things that could happen.
Gotcha.
like tingling where you don't want tingling or something like that, or what
Careful.
kind?
Itching in awkward places.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff that you're gonna have to see a doctor for, like stuff like that. I don't.
Well, what is the rest? Well, what did the other 4 of our party feel about this? Like Inglewood and
I'm just doing donuts.
Yep,
You asking about
the whole time.
the newbies?
Like the 4 that you have encountered. They sort of are willing to defer to you, although the Genasi seems to be particularly interested in this stuff. She's sort of doing the same thing. She's noticed Umbra now too, and she started kind of walking around behind Umbra. And she smiles for a moment and joins in. She's now skipping along behind Umbra, slapping the stones.
is she getting the same magic response as Umbra is?
No. When she slaps the stones, there's no, like, Bamfy glow thing.
I would like to I walk over to Umbra while she's doing this and ask her if if she feels anything when she touches the stones.
So without kind of missing a beat, she continues to skip as she's skipping by you. And the first time she skips by you, she goes, "Yeah, it feels really," and then it kind of trails off. And when she comes back around again, she's like, "It's like each time that I'm slapping him, it's," and then she's gone again out of earshot.
I start pacing her on my broom.
And she's like, "Yeah, see, well, like it's like when I hit this one, you see how it turns purple, and then on this one it turns green, and then on this one it turns orange. Isn't that neat?"
I say it's very neat, but do you feel or sense anything when you touch the stones?
Well, my hand's starting to get a little tingly, but I think that's just because I've been slapping rocks for 5 minutes.
Gotcha. Thank you, Umbra.
She sort of shakes her hand as she's skipping along, slaps another stone. She starts skipping backwards, hitting it with her other hand.
I ask Maggie what she thinks of this whole situation.
Yeah, Maggie's like, I hate to be a devil that we don't know, but if the wizard thinks it's safe, then he would know better than we would.
Is that what he said, though?
It's not, well,
Well, he said you can't trust devils, but you can trust the devil to be a devil.
I guess I interpreted that to mean that, like, you know, we need a good contract, basically. Like, we need to have it clearly established what's
Gotcha.
going to happen after. And then it sounds like Ariane's intuition is telling us something that neither the devil or the wizard knew, right? That it is potentially dangerous.
Yeah, I would
I
say
think we
that's pretty accurate.
Ariane, do you have any kind of like magic shielding at this point?
let me see what I got in my spells that might help us. I don't think so.
Well, keep in mind, with access to that last piece of the rod, you, like the Rod of Mistral, you gained
Uh-huh.
the ability to cast any spell up to 9th level once per day, you know, obviously with the negative effects from that part of the rod as well. So if you look up any 5e spell, like, that's valid game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what can we use?
Could counter spell be helpful? No, that's for a creature.
Yeah,
No,
counterspell
I
is if
don't.
somebody's casting a spell at you, generally, you can counterspell it.
Is there any kind of like area of effect that we can stand in or something that?
I
Or
think
like-
so, but I'm trying to remember.
Protection from evil would be probably a pretty good one.
Okay, I
I
wondered
don't
about
have
that.
that.
It's possible Maggie has something like that even.
I actually have that.
Do you?
You do?
Yeah, I have it as a first level spell. I don't know what I can. Let's see. It's a touch spell. Concentration up to 10 minutes. One willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. Target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the relevant effect. So,
Certainly
not
come in handy.
really.
It could be something to have like prepared just in case something bad happens.
Yeah, it hasn't come up really, but it's been sitting there. I think it came with like one of my ranger levels. I don't remember.
That's
Like I
very
picked two
possible.
spells or something. Yeah, I think there was like 2 cleric spells or something I was supposed to pick.
So this Balgura demon now getting kind of desperate. Um, he tells you that he is willing to accept a deal. If he gives you the information about the location of this mirror now and allows you to travel there and, excuse me, ask Rigorith, the emissary of Mephistopheles, the Archduke of Canis, the 8th level of the 9 levels of hell. So, like, think of Mephistopheles as being the equal to Zariel, but for the 8th level of hell. Like, the supreme leader of that level. All of these leaders kind of tend to answer to Asmodeus, who is the demon prince of, or the devil prince of the 9 hells. Excuse me. He says he will accept payment after the fact, knowing that fine adventurers such as yourselves would never back out of a contract, and such things could be particularly unpleasant if done in Avernus.
So what did he say he's gonna do?
He's essentially
He's gonna
offering to
give
give
us-
you the goods first. Like, he's giving you the benefit of the doubt that you'll go to this mirror, get the information you need, and then come back and do his ritual with him.
It's a fair offer.
Yeah, I mean, although I think like we would have to come back and do it. So
Oh, but I would stipulate only if the information we get is what we need.
He says, well, I can't guarantee that it'll be the exact thing that you're looking for, but it's the best I can do. If anyone knows the location of such an item, anyone knows the location of such a place as the Bleeding Citadel. It would be
And you're certain that when we contact him through this mirror, he will answer?
One of his emissaries will, yes, sort of their job. I think that Mephistopheles enjoys torturing them.
What is Maggie asks him, what will you do once you're freed?
Once I am free, I shall find Zariel and renew my allegiance to her, and make that bastard Bell pay, trapping me here.
Zariel is the lady that I can't remember any of the names. Oh, Maggie, right?
Yep.
That Maggie's like idolizing.
Yes, yeah, that she's like...
It's her sword we're trying to get.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
She couldn't find it on eBay, so she sent you guys.
So if this guy's like big thing is he wants to serve Zariel, that's probably good. That's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, Zariel's
Well,
just there to kill demons, essentially. That's her whole thing. Last time you saw her, she was flying around, slamming demons in the head with a giant hammer.
Yeah.
Well, if everybody's in agreement, I know Tohan was cool with it.
Oh yeah, Tohan, you forgot, or I forgot to tell you, right before you actually got here, Tohan got carried off by a giant hell wasp. So it's like a 4-foot wasp just flew by and like picked him up. And Venadia, how did you put it? You felt bad for those.
I said I felt bad for that wasp, and then Dave was like, "Yeah, because he's gonna kill that entire hive of wasps."
Indeed. He's gonna come back covered in wasp guts.
All right. I think how far apart are these stones? Probably more than 10 feet, right?
Oh yeah, maybe like 15, 20 feet apiece, ish.
There's a what is it? Anti-magic. What is it called? There's the globe of invulnerability, but it's only got a 10-foot radius. Any spell cast from outside the barrier that targets anything or anyone inside the barrier is completely nullified. Maggie's also got, like, if she has not yet been attacked by a spell today, then she's also invulnerable. Theoretically. So.
Well, either way, the offers for us to go to the mirror first, and who knows what kind of adventures we're gonna get into on the way and back to and from the mirror. How far is the mirror?
He tells you it's maybe on your bike's 20 minutes ride.
Sick.
Not that bad.
Yeah,
It's almost too short.
It's like midday right now. Yeah, he tells you that it's not far. The only reason that he ever saw it was because at one point he managed to obtain a flight scroll and tried flying out of this circle, but found that he could only go straight up. And so he flew up, and then he happened to see this mirror sitting over there. That's how he learned about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we might as well take him up on that.
Sure.
All right. He then puts his hand out, and kind of, it's right in between these two stones. So he's kind of waiting for you to shake his hand on this deal.
Where's Tohan when you need him?
What
do you need him to do?
The half-orc kind of looks at all of you and just coughs really hard and steps up and shakes the devil's hand. And as he does, there's that same kind of kapow of light appears on all the stones all at the same time. And you kind of have to wonder what exactly you've just gotten yourself into. Seems like maybe there's something you're not quite seeing. Anyway, on your he gives you the directions to your next location, and you arrive in no time. The only sights to be seen are the occasional Vrak flying off in the distance, this evil winged demon with red eyes and horns, demon looking. They all look pretty demony.
Zach, I'm gonna roll for a wheelie, okay?
Yeah, Absolutely.
I'm gonna add my proficiency bonus because I'm ooh. So
Yeah.
10. How's that fare?
It's a little wobbly, but you know, it's like you get the front, you get that, you got to tip the front forks a little bit when you're in the mid wheelie
Uh-huh.
so that you keep your balance. You go down maybe
So that
a little bit harder than you wanted to from it, but other than that, you're good.
right.
Still impressive.
My heart's beating. I like feel like whoa
Yeah,
shit
you're
that
like,
was
oh
close, but I'm trying
yeah,
to look. I'm like looking cool at the same time. I'm like oh yeah,
yeah.
but inside I'm sweating it.
Hope nobody noticed that. Inamingle's like, yeah, like he's all into it.
I feel a little better now.
I want to see if Inamingle can do one now. All right, he got a 12. I don't know, that's plus some stuff. So we'll say he managed to do one too.
Nice.
Tohan somewheres wishes that he was on a bike right now.
Tohan's doing wheelies on a wasp.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just a non sequitur. It just cuts to him, and he's like, "Yeah," making the same exact noise, like waving his giant halberd around and
Yeah.
flying on the back of the wasp,
He's
killing
like
other
somehow like
wasps.
shooting stingers out of the wasp.
Yeah,
Like at other wasps.
he's tennis like he's hitting it like it's a tennis racket, just slapping their stinger into the other wasp. It's amazing. I love it. That's fucking storytelling right there, guys. So you
Goddamn
arrive.
word picture.
This location is not hard to spot as this mirror is about 20 feet tall and 10 feet wide. It looks like a huge glowing obsidian, just glassy surface. And it's just this large kind of stone. But as you get closer, you can kind of tell that this is more polished than maybe even the most polished obsidian would return. And as you look at your own reflections, you see that they are a hollow shell of yourselves, as though whatever existence you might have on the plane of Kaina, that's probably wrong, sorry. But on the whatever existence you might have on the 8th level of hell would in fact be absolutely way worse than what you're dealing with right now. After just a brief moment of looking at this thing, a Cambion devil appears. This devil is very similar looking to your old friend from your adventures in Sigil, your guide. What was his name? Jeff, Yafe, something like that. Ralph.
Jesh.
Jesh. Yes, that's it. You kind of think it might even be him for a second, but then you quickly realize, no, this one's different. He's got like a different kind of almost style to his horns and different different appearance because this one appears to you completely covered, his whole face in ice, and he's holding in one hand a boiling kettle of water, and he is just barely able to get this kettle of water up to dump it down his own face, and he screams out in agony. And the scream turns into, "Welcome to the gates of Mephistar. How may I help you? My name is Rigoras." And even now, the ice
are
is
you
beginning
okay?
to reform on him. Yes, it's just very, very cold here. And he pours a little more water on his face and lets out another scream. And you notice, like, the amount he's pouring out,
Okay.
it should empty this kettle, but it just seems to be full. And he sort of looks at you and he's like, "It's just the way the master likes things here." As he pours more boiling water on himself and then starts freezing again. "What can I do for you today?"
I mentioned the tower we're looking for, and that we were told that that Metastopheles could help us find it.
The location of the Bleeding Citadel, you say? One moment. And he takes out a book and he starts flipping through it. And the book, it's not that big, but it seems like he's flipping for an impossibly long time. Like, it's like flip, 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 like really fast. Like, there's clearly like 10,000 pages that he just flipped through, and the book's only about an inch thick. He stops, goes backwards for a while. So, yes, there it is. Yes, in fair exchange for this information, via his lord Mephistopheles, lord of lies. You must dam the flow of the river Styx, where it spills into a nearby chasm. And he just closes the book and then looks at you patiently, and his face again begins to freeze.
Can I use my mold earth spell?
What would you like to do with it?
What does he want us to do exactly?
He said he would like you to go to an area by the river Styx that is falling into a chasm and dam it up so it is no longer falling into that chasm.
Yeah, so you're thinking of using a mold earth spell to dam it up?
Yeah. I mean, if that's what we gotta do. I mean, do we know what the repercussions of doing so would be? I mean, are we gonna get splat? Is it gonna cool up and end up getting on us, or what?
Well, if we succeed in damming it up, then that's what wouldn't happen, but that's assuming it works out, you know. Yeah, I don't know.
Where are we supposed to do this? How far is the river Styx from where we are?
When you ask that, he pours more boiling water on himself again, lets out this awful, awful scream, and like again, the scream just dissolves into this like business-like tone, and he gives you the exact location of it, uh, as far as you can tell, just by description, and he lets you know that he can send you with a guide, and out of the mirror pops this small little imp. It is about 1.5 feet tall. It just looks essentially like a cross between a human baby and some sort of a goat. And it is also covered in ice and snow, and it constantly is shaking snow off from itself. Like it seems like the snow just appears an inch or so above it and falls on its shoulders, and it uncomfortably shakes it off. Um, and it starts letting out a series of yips and hops and kind of clopping its hooves on the ground and pointing. And it's got on its bag, on its side, a sort of shoulder bag. And in the shoulder bag are several long stone rods. Uh, the Cambion pours more water on its face, lets out its scream, and then explains to you that this imp carries a dozen or so shatter sticks that will help you dam the river. He will show you right where it is, and upon finishing his job, he will simply return home. And you just have to return to the mirror, and Rigorath will be happy to provide you with the information that have requested. And as he's doing this, he's still got to like pour water on his face every once in a while, thaw out.
I ask him, how long is it going to take us to travel to and from?
The imp kind of starts stamping his hooves and he's pointing in the direction. He's like, not far, not far. He's like spitting out ice cubes now onto the ground, just like, Ugh!
I look at everybody else and raise my eyebrows like, what do you want to do?
Damming the river Styx seems acceptable to Maggie. Doesn't sound like a problem.
Yeah, I mean, after all, it's just a little bit of reconstructive, or what do they call it, public engineering, right? Something like that.
Hey, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Oh.
The Cambion looks out when Venadia says that, and he says, "Please hurry. You know how warm it is inside of one of these tauntauns? It's only lukewarm."
Man, we really are in hell, huh?
Yeah, yeah. The worst variety of the dad jokes.
Well,
Well, damn it, let's do it.
Alrighty. Alrighty then.
Okay, so you guys are gonna head to this area. The Ice Devil,
I
Lulu kind
assume
of
Umbra's
creeps
on my
around.
broom at this point, right?
Yeah, either that or she can ride with Inamingle on the back of the motorcycle. There's now actually an extra motorcycle essentially since Tohan got carried off, so you guys can all make arrangements to provide rides for the ones that don't have motorcycles.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me make sure I have everybody. Please. Do, 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 do. Trust. Everything works. Yeah. Right. Paste y'all in. Oh, no. Oh, okay, there you are. Thought I lost you. Apparently some of them had Featherfall active. That's interesting. Oh, oh, oh.
Dude, you dropped the water.
Alright, I got it. They fixed the rewind timer feature on this a little bit, so it works a little bit better.
Ah, nice.
Now the trick is to just be very careful and not pick the water up.
So if we want to use our like bracer things and go back in time, can you just rewind us back to wherever we wanted to be?
Essentially, yes. Like, if I click on the rewind thing, it allows me to rewind in increments of like 10 seconds,
Oh,
which
neat.
sounds handy, but it's really hard to judge how long 10 seconds is when you're like, oh shit, I did this that many seconds ago. I don't know why they don't just have a goddamn undo function on here. Control Z is
Right,
not a
just
thing
slide
on
it
here.
to each like frame that it would be at,
Yeah,
like each
it's
state of it.
yeah, like you did something, okay, Control Z back to that. It's probably a memory issue because there's so many polygons involved with this, so it's like they probably don't want to crash it all the time, which I
I
can
don't know, it's
understand.
pretty low poly. Yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah, well, you're
like if I
seeing it on
had
like a
this thing
1080
loaded up in
stream
Blender or
too.
something like that, like you should, yeah, I don't know.
Well, some of that is the models as well. Like the models themselves are like just fan-made models, so it's just like, hey,
Right.
here's a cube with a texture on it. It's not.
Yeah, so there shouldn't be too much in the way of video memory being needed.
Let's see. So you arrive. And just imagine that this river, this top part here where you are, is kind of this Icarus black color. Like it's almost gray. Like you look down into it, and it's like mud, but it's like a really gray mud, and it's floating, and you can't see the bottom at any point when you're looking into it. Like there's no real reflective quality to the water. It's all like broken. And just being near it sort of is making you noticeably kind of not yourself. Like all of you are sort of like having your thoughts drift out of the moment. You're thinking back to different things, and like it's taking you away and giving you sort of a sense of maybe nostalgia and melancholy.
Hmm.
I quickly remind everybody that they should not touch or drink the water or get any of them on any of the water on them at all.
Um, Flip to the next page. So you see that a deep rift slashes across the surface as far as you can see. Canyon is over a mile deep and is filled with a lake of green slime that undulates as though breathing. From a nearby cliff, a tributary of the river Styx cascades down into the slime. Dangling from a bent iron crane that leans out over the chasm is an iron cage. Shoo. containing a hairless, green-skinned humanoid wearing shackles on its ankles. The crane seems to be clicking up slowly. It gets to the top, and a moment passes, and then the crane releases, and the rope and cage plunge down into the water, like just in like a Dunking Booth extreme. And after just a few seconds, it begins coming back up, and the creature comes up coughing, sputtering up water. And as long as you guys are standing there, this is going on. It seems to just lift it up to the top fairly slowly, and then drop it into the water, and it sits there for a minute, and then it lifts it back up again. And at the bottom where the water is like as you look down, it's noticeably a different color. It's kind of this acrid green, like thick, mucky substance. It's not like at least the river Styx is flowing. This seems to just be kind of like a nasty cesspool down here.
Oh no. Is that person green by being dunked into the green shit?
Or vice versa.
Interesting. Just they're like a tea bag.
Yeah, essentially.
And just like effusing green shit into the water every so often. Can I see again where they are in relationship to us? Okay, yeah, gotcha.
So there's kind of this waterfall chasm here where you guys pulled off because you saw that that's where you're supposed to work. And even now the imp, this frosty little goat child thing, is he's kind of pointing over at the big rock on the other side at this thing, and kind of indicating that he needs to put his shatter sticks over there. You think the gap's probably about maybe 15 to 20 feet across the narrowest part. Nothing that
I can fly him over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing that you guys couldn't easily navigate. So you want to drop him off over there, Ariel?
Well, before I do that, I kind of want to assess the situation with this crane and person or humanoid thing being dropped in the water.
Okay, how do you want to go about doing that?
Well, first off, can I get a better look at the crane? Where is the crane?
So it's just at the base of the cliff. There seems to be like a flat spot of wall, and then this
Is there
large.
somebody controlling it?
No, it seems to be just an automated process. Like above it is just like a flat land with some shrub grass and devilweed.
I don't know. Is anybody else wondering about the guy in the cage?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Is he close enough? I mean, is it like it looks like a loud waterfall situation? Can we yell to him from the cliff, or is he not going to be able to hear us?
I was thinking, is there any way we can get across? It doesn't seem like the water's very wide there. Like, can we get across there? And
Yeah, as you survey the situation, you realize that there may actually be a fairly easy trail down. I mean, it would be, an athletics check to make sure that you could make the climb down without any sort of incidents. But once you got
I
to the
could always
base,
fly everybody down one at a time, couldn't I?
yeah, that's true too. If you wanted to take a little more time, you could do it a little more carefully.
well, I'll make my athletics check. I feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah. Maggie, did you want to try to yell to the guy?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
You gonna use thaumaturgy
Yeah.
at all?
Yeah.
There you go.
So yell, who are you? What's going on?
I am a kind and benevolent DM. So yeah, you turn on the old voice of God, or voice of Hestia in this case, and you boom out across this chasm, and as you do, there's this kind of loud echo. So your voice carries even farther than it normally would. And this guy shoots his head up and looks at you and starts waving his hands frantically and then puts his hands to his mouth, and you're pretty sure that he's yelling and you cannot hear him at all. But he clearly now heard you and sees you there, and he's trying to get your attention.
So
Rattling
Zach-
the cage.
I asked Maggie if she wants me to take if we is the how far up the cliff is the thing right now?
We'll say it's about halfway up. Like if you were to fly over, it would take about as long as it would be up to the top. Like he'd have a couple of seconds to talk to him, and then it would be getting ready to drop him again.
Maggie asks that Ariane fly her over to the crane, so that because she's afraid of flying in general, let alone over the water of the river Styx. So if you just fly kind of, like over that little gap, and then
that way.
I was gonna say, I was actually gonna ask you, Zach, what it would take to get over there, because I was thinking I could try a strength check to see if I could
You could probably
hold the
jump
crane up.
Horizontal.
I mean, I was trying to see if I could be able to hold the crane from dropping again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, as far as getting over there, yeah, there's a small gap to clear, or you guys can climb down and go around. It depends. Do you want to take longer, or do you want to take more time? Like, it's
Well,
probably
what
going to
if
take you an
just-
hour to climb down the
Well-
whole way.
What if I fly him over?
my reason for wanting to go up there would be if I was able to try to pull him up from above.
Yeah,
but if
like
I can't do that, then I would just try to go down to the bottom and
It
see how
seems
you
like
get-
on the crane, the rope goes into like a recession on the wood piece. So the rope just kind of disappears, but if you were to stand on the
I'd
end
have-
of this and then
Gotcha.
grab the rope, you could probably stop it from dropping.
Is that how narrow is that beam?
From where you
I mean,
are,
like,
you'd say it's
would it be
probably
easy enough to
exactly what
just
you
walk
said. It's like
out?
a beam. Yeah, it's maybe like an 8x8 or 10x10 beam.
Okay.
I can be right there. I can fly you over and be right there to either try to help catch you and or cast feather fall,
Well, yeah,
so I
I
have
mean-
time to get under you.
If you were gonna fly me over, I would just have you just park right in front of the thing, and I'd see if I could at least hold it so it couldn't fall, and maybe I can break the gate open
Well,
on it. I assume
or-
it's locked, right?
Well,
Probably.
probably. Otherwise, he might not be in there anymore.
Yeah. So I figure, I was gonna try to break the lock on it and see if I could do that.
Yeah, pull it up. Maybe if he did a good enough strength check, could she pull him up
Oh,
and
yeah,
like pull the cage up?
yeah, probably. At least enough to get it to, like to where you might be able to work on the cage or, like you said, break the lock or something on it.
Yeah.
It's all,
So
it's
I've
all
got-
possible.
I can use my unseen servant to unlock something. I think.
Oh, neat.
Makes it-
Maggie says, let's not plan on opening until we know who this is.
Splash!
Maggie doesn't trust anything in hell.
Crank, 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 crank. It just dropped again, just slammed into the water. The guy comes out, but now he doesn't even seem to notice at this point. He's just waving frantically at you.
Oh wait, he can't unlock a door, unfortunately.
The cage is now swinging around too in circles because of his kind of violent motions.
Use the thermatology to tell him to calm down and let the cage still itself.
Okay, yeah. Maggie says, we'll come and steady the cage. You have to stop waving. And then I guess so. Ariante's gonna fly Venadia out to the beam, and then I mean you could probably, if you can pull the rope up, you could probably wrap it around the beam so it can't drop, right?
Yeah,
Try it.
yeah. Definitely
At
try.
the very least. So then, at that point,
So
once
what kind of check would you need me to roll, Zach?
All right, so Ariane,
just-
you would be able to fly Venadia, but not with Umbra still on the broom. So she's definitely got to either go within, she'd be hanging out by Intermingle anyways, probably bugging him.
Yeah, let's just assume that Umbra's with Intermingle right now.
Okay, so you and Ariane, or you and Venadia, I'm sorry, want to fly to, I'm not going to try and stick you out on the boom because I will never find you if you fall.
I also suggested Venadia that she make sure that she has gloves on or things covering her hands, that she does not touch anything wet to her skin.
I don't know that I have gloves.
Do you have some cloth or something you can wrap around your hands? Something.
Maggie asks the other
Not
adventurers if
really.
any of them have any gloves.
Let me roll for gloves. 13. Yeah, they got a pair of gloves they can give you.
Oh, nice.
That's an
Yeah,
easy
they
one.
fit for
Somebody's
shit,
got
but
it.
I'll wear
Somebody,
them.
yeah, exactly. It's like the work gloves that are a size too big.
Yeah.
There's got like a hole maybe in the back of the
There's-
hand on one of them, but no
Oh.
big deal.
They only make one size, and it's the size that no human hand
Yeah,
is.
or it's like two left hands. You just get two lefts somehow, but they still fit. So you're like, All right, so
Cool.
you take these gloves with you. All right, you're able
Yeah.
to do your.
I'll put them on when I need to.
First, I'm gonna need we'll say an acrobatics check for you to be able to. Well, we'll do it this way. You can do either acrobatics or athletics based on. Do you want to try to walk out on the beam or like go like boss style, or do you want to try to like do like a belly shimmy out there and like balance yourself, like scooch forward on your ass?
I'm also gonna be right there to try to help steady her too.
um,
I couldn't remember if you had acrobatics or not. I didn't feel like looking it up.
I have I have I have a +8 to acrobatics, and I have a +13 to athletics.
Okay, so your belly scooch is your better bet.
Yeah. All right. I'll belly scooch, I guess.
You don't have
I'm
to.
really glad I did, because I got a 16.
Okay, yeah, you're able to make it out there. Now, I'm gonna say a full-size cage. I'm gonna guesstimate how much this thing weighs. Say with all the rope and everything else, and the fact that the gloves are a little loose-fitting. Um, roll me a
I'm gonna
D.
give a. Can I just give give her bardic inspiration real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I should be able to lift like 800 something pounds, with strength at 29. I think that's what I figured out in the rules.
Yeah, it's
Like
not
the
a. I don't think it's a
lifts,
problem with
drag, or
lifting. I think it's a problem with with gripping this wet rope that's all slick and
right.
stuff. So what would that be?
So
Let's
what do you,
see.
strength
It's
check
gonna
or
be either dexterity, sleight of hand. I don't know. Yeah, I would say it's either sleight of hand or
what is it for? What's this roll for?
to be able to hold on to the rope while you're pulling it up so that the rope doesn't drop. Like you're gonna try and pick up this cage enough to wrap the rope around the post, right? So that it locks it
Well, it'd
in.
be strength. Right? It'd be like how hard I can grip it to prevent it from slipping.
Okay. So yeah, then it's gonna be another athletics check. Like if you want to like you like wrap it around your own wrist and just use that as leverage first to like get this thing up.
Okay. I'm feeling strong now.
It's
31.
Yeah, it's just a DC 15. It's not that hard for you. So yeah, you're able to pull this rope up and you secure it, and get this guy so that he's now at the top, and he's secured and he's going, thank you, like puking up water. He says, please release me. I'll teach you. And he holds up a handful of this green slime, and for just a moment, this green slime sort of stands up, turns into this maybe foot tall or so humanoid kind of homunculus, we'll say. Um,
Mm.
and it does a little dance, and it waves at you, and then he sort of tosses it out the cage, and it just goes wee, like goes spinning down to the pile of slime beneath it. And he goes, "I can teach you how to make them. Please just open the cage. Let me out of here. This place is terrible." Pukes up
Yeah.
a bunch more of this shit.
Yeah, I don't want any of that, but I can maybe let you out if you're going to be chill.
Maggie can't hear any of this because she's still on shore, I assume, unless Ariane made her way back. But
I asked Vanady if she's all right if I go back and grab Baggy.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could just kind of perch on this thing.
Unless do you want me to take you back or do you want to stay there?
Nah, I can perch.
All right. I quickly fly back and grab Maggie and bring her over.
In the meantime, Maggie yells, "Who are you? Why are you here?"
The being in the cage is trying to look up at Venadia perched above her, and she's sort of like trying to poke her head out of the bars, but she can't really, or he can't really quite fit through the bars. So he's only catching like whatever glimpse of Venadia peeking over the edge of this thing that he can. He's like, "How are you doing that? Throwing your voice across the cliffs?" Seems to think it's Venadia shouting to him. Says, I'm
Just answer the question.
whoa, now you're talking over here. It's so strange. You see, my my story's very well, I forget a lot of it, but I remember long ago I stole a coin, and I was punished. I was put here near the Shumrath.
Am I over there yet?
Put here by whom?
Uh, the Archdevil, Bell. Now you remember, Bella's not the current Archdevil, but used to be. So this guy might have been here for a while.
Yeah, he's not the Archdevil anymore.
What?
So you might be out on time served.
If he's not the Archdevil, who killed him? Surely someone did him in. Starts puking up shit again.
Isn't Belle the one who put the other devil in the stones?
Yes.
I asked this guy if he knows of the other devil,
Oh, Zariel?
the one that we are supposed to help with in the stones.
Oh, of Ubalex. Says, no, I'm afraid I haven't heard the name. I've been here a while, I think.
Can we tell, is this guy a devil? I see Maggie's over
Well,
there
what does the Eye of Argos say about him?
Oh, yeah.
Eye of Argos says he is an Ultraloth.
Oh, what?
Ultraloth. Yeah, I think that's right. He is a devil that was demoted from being a pit fiend by Bell. And then he was imprisoned for stealing soul coins. It confirms all of this. It's like a little backstory thing that comes up about him. He continues to promise to show you how to form magical servants made from goo if you just free him. He tells you that they'll follow you forever. He also tells you his name is Bazit.
Posit?
Bazit with a B.
Bazit.
Yep.
Maggie says, what will he do if we free you?
He says, I will escape this wretched prison and find myself a way out of Avernus.
Is this not your home?
Ah! What joy holds a home such as this?
But where would you go out of Avernus?
Anywhere is better than here. When he says that, you're kind of reminded of the pit fiends and things that seem to walk freely amongst the city of Sigil, where it was not like a bad thing necessarily to be an abyssal creature or a fiend. So you know that there are other places where these beings can kind of exist at least somewhat harmoniously with each other.
Maggie, kind of says, we'll let you out. Can you help us find the sword of Bel's enemy?
Well, any enemy of Bell is a friend of mine, I suppose. Ha! Friend of the devil. um, please, free me, he says. Let's see. Well, this is happening. The Ice Imp, since you carried him over, or at the very least, he kind of grabbed onto your broom on your way over and dropped himself off, is now about halfway through hammering these 20 spikes partway into the ground all around this large boulder here. And you think that by the time that he's done with his other 10, he's not going to wait very long to set this off and do what his job is, to dam the river Styx with you guys.
Yeah, I suggest that we hurry, and if we're gonna free this person, free him and get away from where the imp is working.
You do see off in the distance as well, 8-spined devils, traveling along the same road you were, approaching the rear of your party over here. Although they do seem to be kind of far off, like they won't be there for maybe a dozen rounds or so, but it is a looming threat.
Alright, so is everybody in agreement that we're gonna free this dude?
Works for me.
Yeah. Can Maggie do an insight check and see if this guy seems dangerous at all?
Yeah, go ahead.
$15 plus guidance, I guess. 18.
He seems kind of like a doddering fool at this point to you. Like he's kind of this guy's been being waterboarded like extreme. He's being slime boarded.
Yeah.
Like this is like picture this stuff as being like kind of like that green Nickelodeon slime from back in the day. Like, but it's just a festering pool of bubbling shit. He's being dropped into it over and over for 1,000 years or 100 years or however long, and yeah, he's not having good mental health days recently.
Maggie's like suspicious of and kind of hates everything down here, but her grandmotherly side's winning out. She's like, let the poor guy go.
All right. Should I try to bust this thing off the hinge, or how are we gonna try to get this out?
Sure. It says it is an iron cage and iron crane, so I was mistaken about the wood. Let's see. Difficulty, object AC, iron and steel, AC 19. So make me an attack roll on this. We'll say it's like a pulley system to see if you can, or to the cage door to see if you can snap this hinge right off from it.
Okay. Just with what?
Just whatever. If you want to use your sword to try to like
sword or
pry it or something,
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll still count all the bonuses and shit.
Yeah, I trust the temper on this blade. I'll pry it. That's a 30.
Okay, yeah, so
Nice.
you're easily able, like you don't even put a ding in your blade. It's still perfectly sharp. And you think fondly of your mother and father that probably made this blade for you long ago. As soon as you pop the door, this guy begins to try to climb out. Ting, ting, ting.
I say, whoa. Slow down.
Let's see, he rolled a 3 on a dex check, so he's beginning to slip.
I nudge my broom close to give him purchase or whatever.
Okay, let's give him advantage
but
on
I yell. I make sure he knows that he better not touch me with that damn water.
Well, he rolled a 3 again on that with the advantage that you gave him, and at this point he now begins to tumble and fall towards the slime not in his cage.
I cast Featherfall.
All right. He begins to slowly float down towards the slime.
I fly down and use my broom to nudge him away from the slime towards land.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to guide him over. Like you scoop
Like
scoop
a
him by
bottle
his
no
collar.
dolphins kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. Like you scoop him by his like tattered collar on the end of your broom, and he's just dripping, slopping. You flop him down on the shore, and he's hugging the ground, and he's like rubbing dirt all in his face, like ah ha ha, brrr, like pukes up more of this slime shit on the ground. Then he scoops up
All
the
right.
slime shit, makes it into one of those homunculuses, but it's got a bunch of dirt and shit in it, so it's like kind of like ah, it's got like a short leg. Like one of its arms is like just flapping around, not doing anything.
All right. While he's
Where are you
doing.
guys now?
All
Sorry,
right.
Zach. Where are they?
I'll put Ariance down there while I
All
figure
right.
out
While
if I can
while
get this
he's
to work.
doing that, I fly Maggie back to where the rest of our party is, and I go back and get Valadia and bring her back to the party, and then grab some sort of cloth or something to wrap him in, and then bring him back to the party.
Okay. All right. So you want to get everybody up on the ledge up here?
Yeah, I want everybody back together so we can figure out what's going on, considering we still have those other demons or devils coming towards us. And plus, I want to be away from where whatever the imp is going to be exploding. And I want to make sure the party is far away from it.
Yes, and that's very valid because by this time you are able to scoop Venadia up and bring her back to the other side after dropping this Ultraloth off with the rest of the party. And just as you do, you see the Ice Imp, and he is running, and you hear like the Mission Impossible music essentially going on. He does this running jump over this cliff, looks behind him, and this thing starts just going off. Like just this seismic activity is unreal. It essentially blows up this cornerstone here. Let's see if my 3D movement skills are any good today. Maybe not. But the rock crumbles, fills in this area of the river, and cuts off this waterfall. As this happens, the green slime below begins to rumble and bubble up more violently than it was before, and you hear a loud voice cry out, "I am free! Shumrath will have his vengeance!" And it begins to kind of swirl up into this creature. You can see something starting to form like arms and a head. It looks kind of similar to these homunculus things the guy has been making. He's still got his little dirty homunculus with him too. It's like sitting on his hip.
Yes, the ice imp. What is that? Who's that?
He says, "We have to go."
All right, let's go.
Okay. So he on your exit, he begins to tell you about this thing, and you can kind of and maybe in the rear view mirror on the side of one of your bikes, you can kind of look back, and you can see this thing still forming, climbing up the cliff, and it's just this massive sort of pile of slime forming itself up into a large humanoid figure, and it seems to be becoming more solid, but it just seems to be like almost an embodiment of like disease and filth, and it lets out a mighty roar before flapping into the sky on wings of slime. And he explains to you that Shumrath, he thinks was a another pit fiend that Bell imprisoned long ago, and that with the river Styx pouring in there into his slime pool that he was stuck in, he has been going kind of crazy, essentially. And that for years and years, every time that he was dropped into this pit, all he could hear was the thoughts of vengeance against Bell from this Shumrath creature. So it was like just basically him being exposed to this other guy's neurosis over and over and over again. Sort of like going to work with that one coworker that won't shut the fuck up.
So how does the dude that we rescued feel about this big demon thing being freed?
He seems kind of indifferent. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm not getting dunked into him anymore." Like, I don't know if you've seen Breaking Bad, but like this, like the very end of that, it's
Breaking what?
Breaking Bad.
Wait, was he saying it though, or were you saying it?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just comparing it.
Oh, I thought he
I'm
was
just-
saying it,
I'm
and
just
I
I'm
was
just
like,
metagaming.
in character, I was asking, breaking what?
What is the little ice imp say? Like, why did Mephistopheles want that guy released?
As this explosion is going off, and you're seeing this guy doing like his crazy fucking ninja flip goat jump thing through the air, he hits the ground and he starts to roll, and as he comes up, he's actually comes up in a large snowball that sort of poofs, and he just flips you both double bird, or flips all of you like the double bird, as he just kind of vanishes into a poof of snow, like fuck you, I'm all done, guys. So he is now gone. There's just a pile of snow where he was.
I suggest everybody that we should head back to the mirror before those other devils get here, unless we want to fight them or deal with them.
Let's go to the mirror.
Roll out.
All right, so you guys
Crank hogs.
Yeah, you fire it up. Born to be Wild comes on, and you're out of there. Like there's no contest. This devil did not seem to even give a shit about you guys. It was free, and it seemed to have one thing on its mind, and that would be the former Archdevil Bell. This seems to be kind of a theme here in Avernus, and it seems like maybe you're starting to uncover that Bell maybe made a lot of enemies in his time as Archdevil, and had imprisoned quite a few folk. You head back down the road. The Ultraloth just asks you to drop him off at some point on the road. Like, here, anywhere is fine here, as soon as you guys are, like, out of sight of this other fucking thing.
I asked him if he knows anything about the Ring of Stones.
He says, yes. You're speaking of, I can find his name again. You're speaking of Ubalax. Yes, we were both sentenced around the same time. You see, Bell likes to torment people like us. For example, he knew that I didn't want to drown to death, so he charmed me and made me immune to drowning, and then put me here when I supported Zariel after she was appointed by Asmodeus as the Archdevil. Bell was very unhappy.
I explained a situation that we I explained the situation of the stones and what we have to do to free him, and ask if he has any insight about that.
He says, yes. You see, Bell likes to torment us, like I said. I overheard him at one point when he came to pay me a personal visit, and he kind of shudders. He says, I overheard him talking about Ubelex's imprisonment. He said that, he just told him that there was a secret to escaping the prison hidden in the arcane runes. But really, they were just simply a random, interdimensional sort of doodad thing that didn't really do anything. He's just laughed at Ubelex ever since for trying to solve the riddle. There's no answer. It's just futile. He's just pulling his leg.
How does he freed then?
He said that only by pledging his fealty. I'm sorry, I want to make sure that I get this one right. I'm scanning for the info that I need here on the page. He says that if it's true what they've told him, or what you've told him about going to the mirror of Mephistopheles, then it's possible that if Ubalex pledges his allegiance to Mephistopheles, then he will be transported or freed from his prison, although he'll most likely be transported to the 8th layer of hell, that freezing cold area.
That's the only way he could possibly get freed from there, is to pledge his allegiance to another archduke.
Yeah, that's basically what he tells you.
I ask him, considering that he owes us a debt for freeing him, that he travel with us to the mirror and then to the stones to explain this to the other devil.
Well, I mean, Maggie had him agree to help us recover the sword. So I thought this dude was chilling with
yeah,
us.
that's true. Yeah, he's with us.
That was
All
the.
right.
I think that was the agreement he made with
Yeah,
Maggie.
you're right. Indeed.
Okay.
So I tell him that I explained the situation to him and that he's going to need to help us explain it to this other guy, and once we get our information from the mirror, and perhaps we'll talk to the mirror too, and on behalf of this guy while we're there.
Maggie looks at Arianth and says, "I wonder if our portal friend might be the answer. If this understanding of the runes is fake, maybe a portal will get him out."
I agree that that's certainly an option, but let's also ask the mirror and see what they say and get all our options out on the table in front of us.
All right. So you want this guy to travel with you to the mirror, so that you can go contact.
We'll get our answer that we earned, and then ask about the other dude, because maybe they want him free anyway, since they're freeing other people that Bell imprisoned.
All right. Yeah, you guys are able to easily outpace these spine devils that are we're approaching your locality, and you head back towards the mirror. This time when you get back there, you notice something interesting. As you approach the mirror again, expecting the face of this emissary, you see your reflections again, and although you notice that your reflections look kind of gaunt and sort of withered, Umbra is over there making funny faces in the mirror, and they're literally just the same. They're funny faces being made back, as though it has no effect on her. Like it's just a regular mirror to her, and she's just having fun, like sticking
Is
her
it
tongue
just
out.
the
and
mirror
stuff.
making us look? We don't, when we look at ourselves, like at our hands and stuff, that they don't look gaunt. It's just a reflection.
Yeah, just in your reflection, it looks like you guys are like shells of yourselves.
I do an Arcana check to see if there's anything, if any kind of like draw on our life force or anything has been being done.
Go ahead and roll. It's gonna be fairly low too. Like a lot of this stuff, like is kind of putting off auras that are real strong.
19.
Okay. So you think that this, you're not really sure how this mirror actually works. Like you don't think it's necessarily a portal between the levels. You think it's more like sort of like a video chat screen in a way would be the closest thing that I could describe that we have. Um, it's FaceTime with this other plane of the Nine Hells.
Is it doing anything to us?
It does not
in
seem
a
to
physical.
be. Nope, it does not seem to be draining any health or life force or anything. It just seems to be reflective of kind of how much worse off that plane of hell is than this one, being as it's the 8th and it goes 1 through 9 going down.
Gotcha.
The devil's 9 hells is very much Dante's Inferno. Like that's
Mhm.
kind of how it works. It's like the worse you are, the farther down you go until you get to the ninth layer, and
I
then
was
it's
just
Asmodeus.
we didn't notice this about our reflections the last time we looked in the mirror though.
You noticed that yours looked gaunt, but this time the one thing that you noticed that's different is that Umbra's, like I said, Umbra's over there making faces, and it doesn't change her reflection at all. Like, it seems
Oh,
like
okay.
the infernal powers that can put a drain on people don't really have an effect on her. Probably because of her Alu fiend Parshith being half devil herself.
Gotcha.
All right,
And
so
the emissary does approach, um, and as stated, it makes a big deal out of doing the whole screaming and pouring boiling water on its face thing. Umbra giggles like hell at this. She thinks that's funny. She's like, that man's silly. uh,
I look at Umbra fondly, smile and shake my head.
okay, and in a very kind of roundabout manner, this Cambion tells you that the location of the Bleeding Citadel can only be unlocked with the permission of. Hang on one second, more page flipping. Unfortunate because this book is kind of like goes back and forth a lot. In case you can't tell, it's sort of a wild goose chase. Usually, I
I
can
know
just
Maggie said I feel like all these like quests within quests within quests is part of the tortures of
yeah,
hell.
and it literally that's exactly what it's supposed to be. That's how this campaign is supposed to run. And yes, it's a bit on the obnoxious side. Even for me as a DM, I'm like, come on, do cool stuff. Um,
It's like you
fine.
open it up and then there's another one inside. And you're like, oh,
Wait,
cool.
there's more.
Yeah, it is literally it's quest after pocketed quest through a good chunk of it. But you guys are coming to the end of that portion, and then there's like what the next thing is.
It's the Skyrim quest that doesn't end.
Well, it sort of leads back to like what you were saying of randomly generated quests. That's like I
Mhm.
like that idea better of like achievements of like did you succeed in doing this thing today? Um,
Right.
so he tells you that you need to find an item called the Blessing of Olanthius, which is somewhere in the Crypt of the Hellriders. Only with that will you be able to divine the location of the Bleeding Citadel. It is sort of the key to the Bleeding Citadel, and you need it to get in. Um,
The
and
is he willing to tell us where the crypt is?
yes, he can direct you to the crypt. Um, sorry, I'm scanning again to make sure I don't miss anything else. Yeah, so he tells you that he can direct you to the crypt, uh, and gives you directions to where the crypt of the Hellriders is. You are now just, it seems, one step away from being able to finally get to the place where the sword of Zariel lies. Just this last
Before he goes
crypt.
before he goes away, I tell him about the other guy and ask him if anybody's willing to free him since they seem to be on a roll freeing people that fell imprisoned.
The Rigorath kind of considers it for a moment, and he says, I shall have to discuss that with my master, but rest assured, if it displeases Zariel or Bell, I'm sure Mephistopheles himself will be quite happy. And he pours a bunch more boiling water down the back of his neck, and he's like, "Ah!"
So Mephisto is against Zariel and Bell.
Well, it seems like there's at least some sort of like competitive business going on there, you know, like different layers of hell. Maybe they want more souls.
Hmm.
I think the whole thing gives Maggie the creeps. You know, like
Yeah, for
her skin is just crawling this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so unnatural.
Well, I suggest to everybody that we head back to the Stones now and explain to that dude what his situation actually is, and that perhaps maybe he needs to try to contact his lady and repledge himself to her so that she can free him.
Lead the way.
All right.
Let us go.
As you
How-
are traveling back, it is now getting to be towards nightfall. As much as there is like a real nightfall, it just means dusk gets duskier here. Um, although you do notice the lights of the city El Terrell now seem not far off in the distance on the horizon, like of your plane of existence here, your horizon. And you can actually kind of see the outline of it against the darkening sky as the city lights still come on, giving you some hope that there may be some survivors in the city. And your companions discuss this very excitedly, the four that are with you and Lulu. They say that we must hurry and find the sword. Only with that will we be able to save the city.
Why did they think that?
They tell you that when they were going on their adventures through El Terrell as the city was being pulled into hell, um, that they were tasked with this by so I could get the name for you later, but a person in El Terrell essentially that is a higher up had tasked them with locating this sword as they believed it to be a holy item that the Hell Riders of El Terrell could use to fight off the forces of the Abyss and the Devils. In their, they tell you the story that in El Terrell's mythos, the Hell Riders were, you have already heard the story of how Zariel was at one point an angel, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to hell with the intent of fighting fighting demons. And the Hell Riders were her army that she took with her from the city of El Terrell. Well, that all syncs up with their story. But in their story, the Hell Riders come back sort of victorious, but Zariel fell. Whereas in reality, in Avernus, Zariel continued to lead the remaining Hell Riders into devastating battles until they were all dead and only Zariel remained. At which point Asmodeus offered her a position as his archdevil, essentially sort of creating this whole class of devils, taking away the power from Bel in that particular region. So like it's sort of two different stories that you have going. Like you have like the Hell Riders are heroes of El Terrell, and then you have the Hell Riders kind of abandoned Zariel in her hour of need and left the rest of them to die.
And the Hell Rider's tomb is where we need to find this key.
Yes.
Alrighty then, it all ties together.
All right. So we're back at the stone circle, right? And I think we should see if Umbra can free this guy with a portal.
Okay, she looks and goes, him? Probably.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you mean portal? And as soon as he says pour, a portal opens up underneath his feet, and he comes crashing out on the ground outside of the circle just in front of you guys. She says, now what? He looks
All right, well,
completely
that's-
flummoxed.
Maggie gives her a high five.
When
She
you
says,
high five Umbra, that same glow that her hand had been emanating when hitting those stones now emanates when it hits your palm. And I'm going to give you inspiration for that. And as she does this, not only does the glow kind of come off across her hand and your hand, but all 8 of these stones all have that handprint kind of glow go poof on them again. It just seems that wherever
Cool.
she travels with any of this strange dimensional magic, it just goes wild around her. Like she is some sort of she causes some sort of flux in the weave.
She's like a catalyst or something.
Something.
Neat.
Alrighty, go Maggie
As
and Umbra.
as soon as Ubalex is outside of the stones, he cries out, "Finally, I'm free!" and literally just dissolves into a particle of dust and sort of floats away.
reasonable.
So you guys are now standing outside the obelisk with these 8 stones. You have your directions to the Hell Rider's crypt. You can also see the city of El Terrell in the distance, and your companions tell you that it seems like it's cycling around. Like when they first were here, it seemed like it was in a central location in Avernus. But over the weeks that they've been here, it cycled its way up to the ceiling, and they could see it above them, and that freaked them out, obviously. But now it seems to be that it's coming back around the other side, almost like it's rotating around the center of this open area in this kind of inner globe, I suppose, inverted globe. They think that it's going to be approaching rather than getting farther away.
How long at this point? It's night now. How long has it been since we've taken a long rest?
It would be since at least the previous night, and kind of that was late into the night, into the morning, I think. So you guys got kind of a late start the next day, which was this day.
I mean, has it been more than 24 hours?
No, it's probably been about 18 though at this point. Like you guys are probably due for a long rest.
Wait, did you say that city of Elturel is approaching us?
Yeah, and it's not like zooming towards you on the horizon or anything, but like as time passes here, it seems like things seem to warp and change.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe 1 minute you look and it's in one spot relative to your distance, and then a few minutes later you look and it's a different distance. But from what they've seen, it seems to be kind of cycling around in a circle, and it does seem to
Is
be
it like a
kind of
celestial cycle?
something similar to that exactly. Like it's going around the center location, like 0, 0, 0 on the Cartesian coordinates. Is everything's rotating around that.
Gotcha. Do you guys think we should take a long rest? I mean, how many spell slots have you burned, Maggie?
I mean, yeah, it would be good at some point. I'm fine for now. Yeah, I've got at least 1 slot left in each level.
I don't.
Yeah, you guys
Alrighty,
are.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. So
how
Well,
long
you
is it
do.
gonna take us
You,
to trek?
you do risk suffering a level of exhaustion, especially with the conditions being what they are in hell. I would also ask, I don't know how many like rations that you guys have on you, um, but I would say that they're also beginning to spoil and turn rancid. Like they're edible still, but not very good at this point.
bummer.
Indeed. Um,
Yeah, I don't have much anyway. I don't know what. I thought Tohan had a shit ton
Yeah,
of rations.
Yeah,
I
you had
think
like
the last
jerky
time.
and rations and
or
stuff on him.
I think the last time we were somewhere we could stock up, we did, but they're turning. Sounds like they're turning gross.
Yeah, it just seems to be a property of being here in Avernus. Good things turn
Maggie's
bad.
Maggie basically wants to like press on until they're at the point of risking exhaustion, because she just wants to get this over with.
Well, provided that there's a place to rest when we get to that point of
Yeah,
exhaustion.
that's my other point. I was going to ask how far is it going to take us to get to this tomb?
Maybe a couple more hours. Like I would say that if you guys rested once you got to the tomb, you would be risking some sort of a random encounter in the middle of the night. There are obviously outside dangers in Avernus, like random
Mm-hmm.
demons and shit that are flying around trying to invade.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, you could travel there within the course of about an hour or two, and get there before you were completely suffering from exhaustion, and you'd be able to find a
Do you
spot to make camp.
do you want to do that?
But we're in a safe place right now, and we wouldn't be there. Is that right?
What place is really safe here?
Right. So we might as well just go. If everything's equally dangerous, I think let's just go to the tomb.
All right.
Sure.
As you are starting to leave the circle, your buddy here, the Ultraloth, sort of walks around and he's like, "So what is this place, anyways?" And he steps through the barrier of the stones, and he turns around and says something to you, and goes to walk back towards you, and kind of slams off from an invisible wall.
Maggie kind of rolls her eyes and gives Umbra a look.
He's like, "But I don't want to pledge my allegiance to Mephisto. It's cold there. You ever been to that fucking tower? It doesn't even have toilet paper. It's just a stone fucking hole in the floor. It's awful."
I roll my eyes and ask Umbra if she could let him out as well.
She says, "Sure." And she makes a portal, this time in front of the guy. And he looks at it for a moment and looks at her, and he looks kind of at the ground like he's upset, and he just steps through the portal quietly. You don't see him appear anywhere, like nearby. The portal
Maggie
closes.
says, "Where'd you put him?"
She says, "I put him, well, where he deserves to be."
Where's that?
Back where he was.
In the cage?
No, I left him out of the cage this time. He's just stuck on the end of that pole. I
Why
figured
does
that
he
was
deserve
fair.
to be there?
Well, I mean, he was being punished for something. I know this is
Yeah,
hell, and
still.
this might be a hard concept for you primes to understand, but here in hell, everything has a law to it. And if you don't follow the law, you get punished. That's why I don't really like it here. It's not really that much fun if you can't get away with stuff. But
Maggie,
it's too easy to get away with stuff back home, so it's nice to visit.
Maggie says, you can get away with this, bringing him back here so that he can help us get the sword.
Oh, you don't need him. You've got me.
We might as well have him anyway, a little tour guide.
He does know the area well. He has been helpful, Umbra.
She kind of rolls her eyes and goes, "Fine." And a portal opens about 10 feet above the ground, and you can hear rushing water. And then you hear, "Ah!" Thunk, and he slams into the ground and
I say
rolls
thank you,
away.
Umbra.
He looks up at all of you and kind of has just this open mouth, and he's like, "Who is this child?" And pukes a bunch of this green shit up again. And then we can transition, and we can say you guys managed to kind of pack it up, pack it in, and you head off towards the crypt of the Hell Riders, where Zariel's fallen companions are suffering eternal nightmares. You arrive there, and it is now dark. There is a barren hill, rising from which, like giant tombstones, are a pair of leaning monoliths, each soaring more than 50 feet into the smoky red sky. Dozens of armored knights kneel in motionless reverence before the monoliths, between which a set of onyx steps leads down under the hill. There is an acrid smog swirling about you as you walk past the mausoleums and gravestones.
Is the hill above the acrid smog?
Oh, it's just clinging to the ground. You're just walking through it. It's at like chest level. You can kind of see where you're going, and you're not like at too much risk of tripping over shit, but it's gross.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, is there a place where we can actually make camp that isn't within the acrid smog?
You could go backwards up like the other side of the valley for a couple of, a few hundred feet, and you could find a spot that maybe was up above the level where it settled. So you're kind of
You guys good with
overlooking the
doing
next
that?
hill.
I think
I
that makes
mean, are we better exposed or in the cover of the
Do you
fog?
really want to try to sleep and lay down in the acrid smog?
Look, I don't know what's good.
we also. I mean, there's like 12 of us at this point, so I think it's not too hard to make camp and keep watch.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you guys are easily able to trade off with the
Yeah.
other group too.
Yeah, we sleep and then those other four take a turn, right?
There's like Inamingle and Umbra and all. So yeah, I mean, we got eyes.
And
And
while you guys are beginning to make camp, there's a nice little scene, and everybody's around the fire, and it's quiet. And the glowing city of El Terrell in the background kind of makes almost like a moonlight, and you just hear, "I'm gonna fucking kill you!" And a wasp comes buzzing across in the distance with something that looks remarkably like a dragonborn, just clinging to it, swinging violently at it.
Why does that wasp sound like a murder lizard? That's weird.
Maggie does her damnedest to season the dried meat and everything in a way that does not taste rancid. She's really trying.
Make me a survival check.
Nice.
I thought you'd never ask. Oh my god. She's got a +9 on it and she rolled a 5.
Oh.
But
Hey.
14
That's
plus
not so
guidance.
bad.
yeah,
Oh, there you
so
go.
it's
16. There you go.
16 together.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to do a decent job of preserving what's left of your rations. We'll say that you guys at least had, another couple of days worth on you. We'll say 2 days worth at least on your own person. Pretty sure, like you said, that Tohan was carrying a large amount of this stuff. I think he was just kind of designated as like the pack mule for a while.
Mhm.
Can I use predigitation to clean the food? Would that count as
I mean, you could
unsoiling it?
remove some of the rotten stuff. You could kind of help with that, but I don't think it would really, like, it doesn't make it like necessarily good. I mean, Maggie's preserving it doesn't necessarily make it good either. It just makes it edible so that it won't kill you or
I
cause
mean,
you
can
like
I
food
can I at
poisoning.
least will the predigitation maybe like slow down the process?
I mean, yeah, we could say it kind of helps with Maggie's like pickling process. You make it so that it's not like covered in shit. It at least looks decent. Like that, I would say that's more the effect of the prestidigitation. Like Maggie makes it edible, whereas the prestidigitation makes it look like something you might want to eat. Like you're not totally disgusted
Okay.
by it.
Maggie's like, thanks, dearie. That's some very nice plating.
Yeah,
I not.
You guys are
Maybe
able to make camp without any
is
further encounters for the night.
Can I, during my 4 hours that I'm awake, can I look through my book of enchantments and learn, or I think that's what I have, a book of enchantments, a chanting or something, and learn something from it?
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised Arianth didn't jump at the chance to learn this, like summon whatever the hell this dude's doing. The Ugoloth.
Meredith just wasn't all that interested in slime guys.
Yeah, the little dirty slime guy and now has got like he's picked up some leaves. You actually notice he's getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
As he picks
I
up like
assumed that it was.
mass.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys have ever seen the old Steve McQueen The Blob, but it's sort of like that, except for it's got like little amoeba legs. It's like a cactor or something. I don't know. It's this little green blobby guy. He's sort of like he gives it piggyback rides and shit. Yells at it when it does crazy stuff. Um, let's see. You guys arrive. Daylight. You can see. You kind of see the things that I described before of the cemetery around and the crypts, or the mausoleums and such not. And at the end of this, into the side of this hill is this large stone door that you guys come to. You're able to see more clearly in the daylight that the knights who are kneeling and have not moved all night as you observe them during your watches turn out to be skeletons, all staying in this kneeling position. Um, all of them are knelt and upright as though in prayer, uh, with their foreheads resting on the pommels of their swords. It seems as though these restless spirits yearn for peace, yet are doomed to haunt this place until once more called to arms. A pair of basalt doors block passage ahead, their surfaces engraved with a relief of a knight locked in combat with a devil. Both wield burning swords. The doors do not have visible handles, locks, or bolts. You were, however, told before the fellow before the Ubalex took off, his final words, as he looked at you meaningfully, were "for glory." The other fellow that's with you, the Ultraloth, suggests that maybe that was a password of some sort. And that maybe your DM dropped the ball on that bit of information as he was scanning.
Damn, this Ugoloth is saying some crazy stuff. DM.
DM dropping some kind of sphere. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a DM from the
A
abyss.
demon.
Demon.
A demon
Yeah.
sphere. We must find the demon sphere.
Everybody gets the 16 temporary hit points again. Maggie inspires the group upon waking up, and that'll apply to everybody, including the other party.
Nice. All right.
And
Sick.
Umbra and Mingle and all them. Yeah. Big at his feet.
So as you approach the door, perhaps even one of the other party, the real spiffy looking Dorfin paladin steps up, holds up one hand or maybe his weapon or her weapon and says, For glory! And the door begins to creak slowly open, super dramatically. And as the door opens, you see several things. First thing that you see is a V-shaped hallway leading left or right. Would you like to proceed left or right as you enter? I will reveal the appropriate area.
Left, I guess. What do you guys? Left?
Left works.
I heard left.
Cool.
Okay. Probably at least that. Now I have to remember where all my fog of wars and
Is it the Mario music?
I was thinking more like Zelda dungeon stuff.
yeah, that's probably
Fair enough.
closer. As you head into the next area, we'll stop you right here roughly. You see a pair of large iron burial urns are positioned in the corners of the hall, each engraved with a noble coat of arms from the city of El Terrell. Polished swords, lances, and shields hang from racks nearby on the walls. Here, I'll go in a little bit closer so that you guys can get this far.
Who lives in El Terrell? Are they like angels or what?
So El Terrell was a city to the east of Baldur's Gate in Faerun, like in the place where you guys are originally from. That was there when you guys left on your journey, as far as Vanadian knows. Like when she set off to chase that first bug creature that she was sent after, the city of El Terrell was still formed. So within the last few weeks, it's been pulled into hell.
So it's just like a normal Torel city.
Yeah. Yep.
People and orcs and whatever.
But it's now in hell above us.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Assuming that the other party entered with you. However, I would say that their suggestion would be for your party and their party to split up. That you'll cover more ground.
Do we trust the other party to find us if they get to this thing before us?
I mean, maybe I trust it more than I think it's a good idea to split us up amongst them.
But do they have a? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I trust them.
I suggest we still stay together.
Maggie says anything could happen in here. It'll be safer if you stay together.
All right. Let me check their stats real quick. Somebody make me a persuasion roll with advantage.
I got +8.
I got a +9.
Oh, you got +9? Go for it. I got +8.
I got a nat 20. So 29, unless you want me to also give myself guidance.
Oh, shit.
Solid 30.
Y'all are charismatic.
Maggie gave these guys 16 temporary hit points upon waking up, so.
I think who would have the highest? I will say it was probably Sea Boiler. So Sea Boiler argues with you for a moment about what to do.
Maggie's not arguing; she's just informing.
Yeah, she's got a +6, but that's not going to make any difference with your 20 because you would still have higher than her even if she rolls a 20. So after some heated debate, she can't argue with your motherly instincts, and she decides, yes, we will in fact all go together, which means that I have to dig them out of the last table that we were on.
And I feel like gameplay wise,
Where
this
the hell was
complicates things.
that guy?
Narrative wise,
He wasn't on the last table, was he? Holy shit, he's terrifying. Okay. Just one. Plunk. Oh yeah, I upped the gravity on this table so they fall kind of fast. It's weird. Well, maybe not. Let's see. And Lulu. Haha.
Maggie's a spell to release the service.
The Ultra Loft?
No, the skeletons outside that are like bound in eternal service or whatever.
Okay. You wanna do something to try to
Oh no, I was just saying Maggie's wishing she had a spell to cure them of that condition, but she doesn't.
roll me a religion check. $15.
19 altogether.
18. Okay. Um, you think that if you take 10 minutes and perform a basic prayer ritual for Hestia or any good deity, then you could potentially free these souls from their servitude to Zariel. But you think that it'll take you about 10 minutes to do so.
There's servitude to Zariel. Well,
The
Maggie
elf
wants to do that, but
to Zariel the
but she
angel. But Zariel is Zariel, so now that she is the archdevil of Avernus, their service is still to her.
so they were meant to serve an angel, but now they're serving this like archdevil.
Yep. Right now they're just kind of kneeling in front of this temple or whatever. But like as this is obviously before you guys went in.
Okay, Maggie wants to do this, but she can be talked out of it if y'all don't want her to.
I'm not very persuasive, so I only got +2.
Well, Avernus doesn't really care either way.
All right. Well, while the two parties are figuring out how to integrate and decide who goes first and everything, Maggie will go outside and perform a ritual.
Smoke a cigarette.
Smoke a cigarette and then hand it to each skeleton ceremoniously. They all pass a joint.
Nice. It's like a sage burning, except for it's just dope. All right. So after the 10 minutes has passed, there is a awful sound as the bones of these ancient soldiers now give out and collapse into piles, their armor clanging to the ground, dust coming up in plumes, weapons falling over, chipped, rusted. But you can sense that these souls are now at peace. Like as though it's as though like a weight was lifted off your shoulders as this happened. And let's see.
Nice. Maggie feels a little bit better about being in hell now.
Yeah, that's the sense that you get is that you found your purpose, and that is to release these trapped and tormented souls, to be free to, you know, go to whatever their next plane of existence is, so that they're no longer trapped in this torturous land. Let's see.
Sorry about that.
Maggie yells into Venadia. She's like, "Hey, do you want to check out these weapons?"
Defo.
All right, so you're checking through the weapons and armor of the guys outside.
Yep.
Okay. You find that many of these weapons are not so much damaged beyond repair, but they are damaged beyond any practical use right now. You know that with a simple tempering, many of these would be functional swords again. And you kind
Can
of
I
take
use a mending on them?
No, this was beyond mending. Like they're missing pieces essentially, like chips and nicks out of them, where maybe rust eaters have come through and taken a bite. Um,
Oh, so they got to be like
they're
kind of
old.
forged welded back
Yeah,
together.
exactly. Like they need some serious repair done to them. Um, Beyond just what the basics of mending could do. Like you could probably like bend certain things back into shape on them, but how
Mhm.
pitted and rusted these are, it would be like
Yeah,
having
it's
to.
too bad this city isn't where it normally is because I would know a really talented smith nearby, but so that's it basically, just
If
a bunch of
if
banged up rusty
Yep, you do
crusties.
find one helmet amongst all the others seems to still maintain its shine. It is a plate helmet. Uh, it's just in exceptional shape, and it gives you +2 to your armor class, as if you choose to wear
Does
it.
it fit on my head?
Yeah, I mean it's human sized. You could probably arrange a few rags around it to take up any additional space.
I look at it and I go, huh. All right, stick it on my head.
Okay, yeah.
Hey guys, what do you think? How do I
got
look?
my approval.
You look great, dearie.
It's like one of the old school
Thanks, Ma.
full steel helmets with like the iron bars for the visor. Like you can see
Nice.
out it, but it's yeah. And as you look about this
I
funerary
wear it
chamber,
not for the armor class, not for the benefit of the armor, but just because I get a kick out of. I feel like it looks silly, and I'm like,
you put it
This
on and turn around, and like the guitar riff from Iron Man plays like that.
yeah, definitely cool.
Um, so you kind of as you look around this funerary chamber, you see several plaques and kind of paintings that have plaques next to them describing the things that are happening in these. And several of the paintings reveal to you the story of Zariel and her knights. The first painting you see shows a picture of a violent battle between demons and Zariel and the Hell Riders. And it shows demons killing Hell Riders and Hell Riders killing demons. Um, the next shows Zariel's defeat. Most of their generals, including the angel herself, fell to evil and transformed into fiends. One of Zariel's generals in the next painting, Oleanthus, is shown killing himself rather than embracing tyranny. Uh, you'll remember that they told you Oleanthus, he was the one whose relic you were supposed to find. Um, and then the next painting shows Zariel raising Oleanthus as a Death Knight to ensure his loyalty to her. There is
Maggie
a
shut.
there's a picture of the knights that you just saw out in the yard, and they are in that position, kneeling, but it is a picture of them alive. Like they all have like human faces and are just kneeling there. That last one strikes you as really kind of like sad. And as you look around, all you really see is this one weapon rack. Everybody over. And So as the like 10 of you are in here, you now shuffle into the next room, and you see that there are two passageways that you can go down.
Do we have? There's like a scout in the other party, right? Should that person go first and just kind of check for traps and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely suggest it to them. Just roll me a persuasion check. Sure, I got everybody. Also trying to keep everybody fairly in scale.
17 plus 4, so 21.
Okay, yeah, he agrees to go ahead. There is a passageway heading to the left and a passageway heading to the right. Which way do you suggest that he go?
We're trying to get to the back wall, right? So should we go straight?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So you're saying the more right hand of the Y?
Yeah.
Okay. So you send him out in that direction, and he reports back that ahead is a chamber or a hallway with several coffin chambers in it. And in the next room, he tells you that there is an iron urn heaped with human bones in one end, and that a carved relief shows a column of mounted knights charging through a portal into a fiery hellscape on another wall. He thought that he heard some sort of scuffling in the corner where the pile of bones was. So he hurried back. And as you look, you can see some of these coffins in the hallway, and on top of each coffin is a single rose that's perfectly red and seems perfectly preserved.
I say, I have a bad feeling about this.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
Should we check it out or should we go the other way?
Whatever you think.
The rogue offers to scout ahead into the other room, and he sneaks off. He comes back and tells you some sort of statues or something in the center of the room. It's dark, but doesn't seem to be anything in there. Maybe I think it's just a statue on the backside.
I don't know. Everything sounds ominous. I think let's just pick a thing and deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, and those of
I
you
mean, we're
that have
dungeon
dark,
crawling in
yeah,
hell. It's a shit sandwich. It's gonna be.
yeah, those of you that have dark vision can see adequately in this lighting. Those that
Mhm.
don't are probably struggling to see if they don't have some sort of a light source, torch spell, something like that.
Okay, so then Maggie, you should stay between me and Aaron because we both have dark vision. So at least whoever's in front and back of us will be able to see something.
Yeah, Maggie's got a light spell, but I guess it's off
Oh
right
yeah.
now, so we're not attracting attention.
Hmm.
But if I guess she'll like ready it, and basically if it sound if she hears something coming towards them, she'll trigger it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Should we check out the bones or check out the statues? We don't even know what we're looking for in here, right?
No idea.
So you just kind of got to search. I don't know. Let's go. Let's go check out the bones. If something's alive in here, we want to know. Maggie can do her, turn undead thing too.
Yep,
Cool.
the one devil had told you that you were looking for a relic of Oleanthus. Well,
But we don't really know what.
Olanthius.
Yeah, could mean anything.
And as you guys are all filtering in, Umbra's sort of in the middle of the pile between Arianth and Inamingle, we'll say, and as you pass one of the urns, she sort of reaches out and pokes it, and it wobbles a little bit. She giggles. As she passes the next one, she sort of pulls it a little bit, and it starts to tip over. And it shatters when it tips over. Unless anybody would like to try to stop it from shattering.
I was just gonna say, could I roll to like reach out and try to grab it?
Roll me an acrobatics check to see if you can dive across from where you are. We'll say that you're like, 10 feet away or so you'd have to make like a diving save to try to catch this face before she knocks
26.
All right, so you catch it before it hits the floor. And out of it comes this mist in your hands. And the mist starts to kind of coalesce around your head. And as you look up, it forms kind of a humanoid form above you.
I set it down and stand up.
Maggie says, "Who are you?"
As the ghost forms kind of more fully now, you can tell that this is now shows the same signs as those knights outside. He says, "Thank you for preventing the desecration of my tomb. I am one of Zariel's knights. I am one of those that stayed and fought and died alongside my angel general."
I ask if it knows of where the relic we search of is.
He says, "Yes, you can only be speaking of the cup of Oleanthus. I'm quite sure. It lies here in the tomb. I know not where, for I am bound to this spot, here to question those such as yourselves that would enter."
Maggie thanks him for his service.
You said he's a general?
Yeah, he's like one of the higher ups from this army of the Hell Riders. It's basically like he's kind of got like a little military uniform to his ghost thing.
I salute him.
Yeah, this is a very like Harry Potter ghost. He's not like scary ghost. He's just like dude ghost. Spectral human.
Good.
Yeah, I give him a very proper military salute.
And the ghost salutes you back. This ghost tells you that the knight's souls are cursed to remain here, and that they yearn for the afterlife, but the oath they swore to Zariel binds them to her service, and he begs you to help his soldiers find rest.
I look at Maggie.
Yeah, he actually thanks you for and mentions the ones that you helped kind of put out of their misery outside. He says, not all of the ghosts and undead here will be friendly towards you. There are guardians in these tombs. Be wary as you search for this relic."
So he's asking us to fuck up the undead?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much being like, can you free their spirits from guarding this place?
I think he wants you to do that same ritual that you did outside.
Can she do that here?
She could definitely do that to this one. And even as you start performing the ritual, the ghost in the other urn kind of manifests itself too and begins kind of wandering in towards it. And as the ritual completes, and you do sort of a quick version of it, so it's maybe like, a couple of minutes, and you're like, "Hey, nomina patri fare," whatever, I don't know. But you throw one out there really quickly, the fastest Hail Mary ever, and these two ghosts
Or an
kind of,
alpha.
yeah, they vanish.
Nice. Freeing ghosts and taking names.
It's getting to be all sorts of holy.
So yeah, you're still on the quest for this relic of Olanthius. Um, you can't be certain, but you think you might hear hooves somewhere nearby, like hooves clopping on stone.
Uh-oh. Minotaur, huh?
It sort of comes in and then it just fades and it's just gone.
My hooves.
Is there further to go in this direction that we're going?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a left or a right to decide on. There's the statues, or there is the kind of giant pile of bones.
Is the statues in just a room by itself? Did the rogue know if it like goes on beyond those statues, or is it
Yeah,
just
he said he thought that he saw exits on the other side of the room, but he didn't want to go that far in case there was anything else in there. He didn't think that there.
What about in the direction of the bones?
In the bones, he said again he was fairly certain that the one side had an exit on the other side of it. It didn't look to have a doorway or a door. It was just a open hallway.
Well, whatever's clever then.
Yeah, I was thinking let's go up that way. If the rogue like heard something moving up there, I'd rather surprise it than it surprise us, I guess.
Palladium?
I'm with you guys.
All right. Back of Wars, you guys head up to the right. Oh, there we go. Second to consolidate your group. Um, try to get you close enough that you don't like stick to the walls and stuff. So many. All right, as you pass through the hallway filled with coffins, uh, Umbra looks at the rose on the top of the third coffin as you guys are passing by, and she says, "Oh, that's pretty."
Maggie's keeping her eye on Umbra at this point and holds on to her wrist as she starts to say something.
She says, "What? It's pretty. He doesn't need it. He's dead."
Just
I
look,
say,
don't touch.
I say, leave the roses where they be. They're there for the respect of the people who died.
Oh, fine. Can I get a rose when we find one, though?
Yes.
I use a predigitation to make her a rose.
Do like a little like twisted paper one or something, like something really fancy. Make me an Arcana check for that and see how good you do. See how much she likes it.
22.
Okay, yeah, she's happy with it. She's like, "Oh, that's neat, and this one will never die." Oops, notifications be popping. Okay, so you guys head into this next chamber. Uncover some of this stuff here. And you can see that the chamber leads back up to, or like around a corner into another area. Down in one corner is, in fact, a large circular sort of stone well filled to the brim with skulls and other sorts of bones. Um, and you do think that you hear something rattling in that corner. You guys are kind of in the top corner here. We can just guesstimate where you are. And off to your left, you see a passageway that seems to lead further into the crypt.
I want to check out this rattling.
All right, I'll stick close to you and accompany. Check it out as well.
All right.
I guess Maggie will cast light so she can see for this.
As you guys get within about 10 feet or so of this pile of bones, you now definitely notice the pile of bones seems to be moving up and down. You can even at times you think you hear kind of quiet mumbling or something similar to talking, but you can't make out any words.
Someone in there.
The rattling stops. It's just completely silent.
Maggie says, "Who are you? We come as friends."
Slowly, one skull begins.
Meanwhile, I put my hand on the pommel of my sword as you say that.
One skull begins to rise slowly from the pile, held aloft on what at first appears to be a very skinny neck. But then, as it continues to rise out of the pile, you realize that it's someone holding a skull up by one hand. And as it continues to rise, you see before you a creature wrapped in cloth bandages, with bits of flesh dripping from it, garbed in strange foreign royal garments. And those of us here in our world would think of this as some sort of a pharaoh or a mummy lord. He lets out a loud groan, and from around him, all in this pile of bones, uprises 8 other mummies, regular old mummies, come to play.
Okay.
Are they hostile?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Oh, they're
Eye of-
mummies. We're gonna fuck them up.
What does the Eye of Argo say about him?
Let's see.
Um.
Or at least about our head mummy there.
Mummies. Give it a second. Drop the
Are
link.
they all within 20 feet of each other?
At this point, yes. Yes, they are. They're all in probably a 10 by 10 area. Like, they're definitely crowded together. I have Argos information. If I can get this tab to separate here.
Do I have an action, or do we have to roll initiative first?
We're gonna say roll initiative. These things kind of climbed out as you guys, because you guys came in kind of making noise. They knew you were there.
Dang it.
So yeah, I don't know. Can you guys see this on your screen? The stats block for these guys.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Where's yeah. It's a little blurry.
Yeah.
Pixelated, I guess, not blurry.
I can read it.
Yeah. So this one's definitely available on D&D Beyond too, if you guys
Yeah, I can
need
check
to
that
check
out.
it out.
Yeah.
Should all be shared. And about
Can you
the other
click on the
guy.
mummy lord for a
Yep.
second? Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Same thing. Sorry, I'm
No.
trying not to bounce it
Oh,
around too
there we
much
go.
on you.
Wait, so where do I look at that? Or where do I find that on D&D Beyond?
So you can go to the. It should be even in the search everything bar. You should be able to type in mummy or mummy lord, and it should come up. Should.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And since it's shared from Nick shared it, but I've got the things too, the books on here. They should give you the.
Yeah. Yeah, I got him.
Put that back on the screen. Put back over here. We should be back on the map now.
I rolled a 4 for initiative, by the way.
I got a 16.
So this will be fun too, because now I can use our fun little encounters thing.
Maggie got 8.
Everyone stay back 20 feet.
I was hoping to destroy undead, but they're actually too high of a challenge rating.
Dang.
Well,
I'm
they-
going to throw a
they-
fireball in at the Mummy
Fire.
Lord.
Flaming mummies.
Burn him.
Yeah, they have a weakness for fire.
Yeah, fucking mummies hate fire. All oily and fabricy and yeah, it's like a torch.
Light that shit up.
Ariant, you said you rolled a 4 for initiative, right?
I did.
Let's see. Maggie, what did you get?
8.
8. Okay. Vanadia, what'd you say you had?
16.
16. Oops. 4, 8, 16. I give Tohan a -1. He doesn't get to go. I don't know how that'll work out. Should be able to do auto roll for the rest. I hope it doesn't get rid of what I just did. Probably will. 16. Nope. Okay, it filled everybody else in. Auto roll initiative. Yeah, that's so handy. I like that. I can start. Bam! Vanadia goes first. That's so easy. I discovered the encounter tracker on D&D Beyond the other day, and I was like, this is really cool. I didn't even know this was a thing. It's in beta still, so it's like I don't. There's definitely stuff they could do to improve it, but I dig it.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna use the fireball from the Sword of Fire. Which costs 3 charges. And that says 8d6 damage.
Nice.
Now, who are you? You're
And-
firing this at all of them, right? Because they're all
Yeah,
grouped together.
basically just like at the Mummy Lord, and it should have a 20-foot area.
Yeah, so that's gonna hit all of them then, because they're.
So it's a Dex 13 save
All right.
in order to take half damage. And the fire spreads around corners. It ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
13. Wait, can I just roll right on there? Oh, that's so cool. Alright. So he makes the con save, or the deck save, sorry.
It's 25 damage is what I rolled.
Alright, so what is it? Half on a successful save?
Yep.
Okay, so he's gonna take we'll round up.
What does the vulnerability do?
Oh yeah. What does that do?
Oh, good call. So
Yeah, 'cause they're
vulnerability is
mummies.
like the opposite. Instead of doing half damage, it's double damage. It's
Nice.
that. So that cancels out the
Right, so
successful
just normal
save. So
then.
it's just normal. So what did you roll? You said
25.
25.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes 25 damage right away. Let me roll the save for the other guys. I can't just shift click them, maybe.
And bonus action, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
put Hunter's Mark on the Mummy Lord.
Okay. We say it was 27.
25. Do they make their save or?
No. Nat 1, as a
So
matter of
then,
fact.
so that would be double for them, right?
Yes. That means that these mummies are all incinerated, right?
Nice.
Pretty close to it.
I was
anyways.
hoping that was going to
If it's
happen.
double, no, they all have 8 hit points left. Is what's
8
happening.
hit points.
Can you just manually put in 8 right there?
But are they on fire? They're like as a condition now.
Is that a yeah? It's any flammable objects not worn technically, but I'm gonna say that the rags that are on them are pretty goddamn flammable, probably. Um, heal negatives. There we go. That's close enough. Should totally just be able to put in. Oh, I'm fucking down. Hey, look at that. Zach learned how to use a computer today.
This mummy lord's got a bunch of
They've all got 8.
immunities.
We'll just say they've all got 8 because somebody's gonna fucking zap the rest of them in a second here. Vanadium, that was the end of your turn after the hunter's mark, right? On the big guy?
Yep.
Okay. Let me check. The next person up, I believe, is one of the NPCs. Yes. Patankin. Named after Mandy Patankin. As in, my name is Inigo Montoya. It was gonna be Nigo, and then I was like, no. And I couldn't come up with a good one, so it became Patankin. He's a
You killed my mummy.
That's why he's a swashbuckler. What cool shit can Patankin do? Here, let me put his thing up on the screen. How nifty is that?
You killed my mummy. Prepare to undie.
Hey, look, fire rune. That sounds right. Oh, he's actually got a hit with one of his attacks. Okay, I get it. So we'll just retcon that on if he hits. He'll probably hit. Is that the only thing he's got is unarmed strike? Oh, I probably didn't equip anything for him. That's why. It's because I just made a bunch of random shit, like characters. Yeah, anyway, we'll just roll one of these. He gets a significant miss. Alright, well, Patankin's fucking worthless. Mummy Lord's turn. Let's see what Mummy
More
Lord
like
does.
no Patanki, am I right?
Oh my god, I can't wait to get out of hell.
Venadia turns to Maggie and says, "You're never getting out of hell."
If you could find a train station, you'd be Patankin the next train out of here. Let's see.
You're really taking this too far now.
He is going to cast Animate Dead. Because why not? How often do I get to do that as a dungeon master? It creates a large kind of skull golem to fight you guys. You're gonna have to use your imagination on that one. It's
Cool.
I don't have a skull
Yeah,
golem.
I see him.
Yeah, there he is.
I'm gonna fuck him up.
Oh, those are all individual skulls too. That's funny.
Yeah, I was trying really hard to figure out what I was looking at when this first loaded up. I'm like, is that like a bowl of popcorn? Like, what is going on over there?
It's definitely funky looking. We'll just say Galvana, Drobar, they help finish off the other skeletons that are there. I don't know. Maggie. This mummy lord is fucking, he's already burning up. Would you like to finish him off? And
He's
if
gonna throw a spiritual weapon his way. Oh, jeez. Well, that probably doesn't hit. 11.
that does not hit.
All right. And she'll throw a guiding bolt at him too. All right, that's gonna hit, right? 20.
That does hit. Yep.
All right, 19 radiant damage.
Nice. Let's see.
And she'll, if it's relevant, she'll kind of move to position herself between him and the other spellcasters in the party.
Okay. Let's see. Say again, sea boilers just helping finish off those other random mummies that have minimal hit points. Arianthe, would you like to try to finish off this mummy?
Sure.
This
Oh,
mummy's
well.
never felt so disrespected. It's like,
Yeah.
no one's not gonna even like try to fucking kill me here or something. Jesus.
I didn't even take the mini out of the box. How bad is that?
How much damage, or how damaged is the mummy at this point?
He's rocking 53 out of 97 hit points is what the Eye of Agos is telling you guys.
Bruised up pretty good.
And do we are any of our people nearby him right now?
No, you guys are all standing like 15, 20, 25 feet away at least.
Alrighty then. Well then, I am going to, which I've actually keep forgetting I have, is use my ability to use Fireball, as Vanadia reminded me of that.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It uses 3 charges of my staff,
Sweet.
and it's a Dex 16 saving throw for people within a 20-foot radius of the explosion.
Nice. That's a mean fireball.
I think
Should
you
I
also.
step back?
I think you also have advantage on it. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but guiding bolt gives advantage on the next attack.
Well, it's a saving throw for the other guys.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's not
Dex 16 saving throw, and I think it's a half. It's either full damage if they fail or half if they
right.
don't.
Correct.
Okay, so it'll apply if he survives. It'll apply to the next one, I guess.
Hmm.
So I'm sorry, you need me to do a Dex 16 saving throw, you said?
Yep, for anything still alive.
No specialties. Saving throws. Just straight Dex. It's an 11. That is not a 16.
It's super effective.
Alrighty. Damage would be 26 damage.
26, and he's vulnerable to fire, which doubles, so that's going to be 52. Uh-huh. Put this
Oh my
poor
God,
guy
did he
out of
have
misery. He had 53, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Just leave him.
How Yes, he does have legendary reactions. Excellent, excellent.
Come back here and kill me.
He's got weird attacks. I guess he's gonna try Blasphemous Word as his legendary action. At the end of your turn, Ariance, he's going to use that reaction to utter Blasphemous Word. Each non-undead creature
Oh.
within 10 feet of the Mummy Lord can hear the magical utterance.
How,
use,
so
Actually,
who,
within-
Can I-
who among us
well,
is that?
before I use my my movement to get as far away from him as I can.
Okay, yeah, it would have been Patankin and Maggie that would have been, we'll say, within his reach. Like there.
If
What
you
do I-
move away, he's gonna have a attack of opportunity, right?
Not at 10 feet. If you were within 5
No, I
feet,
mean-
you would.
I mean, if Arianth moved away from him.
Well, I wasn't close enough.
Yeah, she's.
For now.
Oh,
she's not
right.
close enough for
Okay, yeah, you
any
weren't
of-
within range.
We'll say they were like there.
Yeah. Cool.
What does Maggie need to roll?
Uh, It would be a DC 16 Constitution saving throw. What's his face here?
Nice, 19.
Just like, nice try.
Oh, what's his face here? Patankin only rolled a 2, although I'm sure he gets some sort of dex bonuses. But I don't think that that's going to be high enough for a 16. So he is now stunned. Maggie, you probably just duck down and kind of put your arms up, do some cool cleric shit.
Sounds about right.
What else do we have? We're gonna say all these mummies are dead now because the other guys killed them while they were fighting. But you guys, like, I know they still say 58, but like they all had 8 hit points. For 4 other level 10s, it would have been nothing for them to walk in and wipe those guys clean. Yeah, we'll probably wrap this up and say that you guys summarily clean the floor with the rest of these Mummy Lord types here. He was not very effective in his legendary action. I probably should have done the channel negative energy, but oh well.
His like last Hail Mary was to like try to like say some mummy word. Everyone's just like, what the fuck? And then just like
Yeah.
smacked him.
Yeah, he's like speaking in some ancient language none of you understand, so it has no bearing. You're like, fuck off.
Yeah. Or you
Except
think he's dead and you turn away and he like gets up and we turn, there's like a gasp and he's just like "Gubba, gubba, gubba."
He's like, you
something like that.
bastard. And Patankin's like, oh.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. The end of
Just the tank.
the end of Club Dread comes up out of the water like 6 times.
You just said he's
Awesome.
shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maggie with so if he's dead, Maggie with her spiritual weapon like specifically searches out his heart and smashes it into a paste. I guess they can rejuvenate from their heart if you don't do that, according to the Avernus.
Nice.
Aranith searches around for any magical items that the Mummy Lord may have had.
Wait, wasn't there like a bone golem or something?
Yeah, when this Mummy Lord is crushed, the rest of the skulls just kind of collapse onto the ground, like
I kind of figured.
Okay. I just kind of kick the pile that was the bone golem and scatter them a bit.
Take that.
I go, skulls tumble a bit.
Yeah, it's like
"Ugh."
you'd like kick one off from a corner and it like ricochets a couple of times around the alcove. Ting ting ting.
Yeah.
Does Aranith find any kind of magical items among the bones of the mummy lord?
Well, let's find out. Yes. One of them carries a wand of some sort, and another wears a necklace that you're fairly certain you recognize it as a magical necklace. And of
Nice.
course, a wand being a wand is most likely magical, or else they were just really had an affinity for sticks.
Cool. I grab both items and mention to Maggie that whatever items are like between the two, whatever item works better for each of us, we can each just grab the one that's better.
Maggie says, "Thank you, dearie."
Yeah,
So
given
figure out
enough
what we
time,
got.
Reggie would be able to identify these items. One, we'll say, it takes him maybe a half an hour or so. So at some point in the near future, he would know that that's what these are.
Okay.
One is a necklace of fireballs. The wand
Nice.
is a wand of secrets. I don't know what that does, but I'm sure
Maggie,
it's on
since
D&D
I have
Beyond.
since I have the fire, I already have the ability to produce fire spells. Do you want the necklace of fire?
Sure.
Because I also have fire resistance because of that too. So you might as well grab that, and I'll figure out what the wand of secrets is.
Dang. Now we all three have fire magic.
Looks like the Wand of Secrets finds traps or secret doors.
Sweet, I like it.
It is. Yep.
With our fireballs combined.
Sweet, that's pretty good. 3rd level fireball spell.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what, 3d6? Or,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 8d6.
One.
Cool, I'm happy with the wand of secrets.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, as you look around, you think there's probably a decent amount of this place left. It is like 9:15, and my ass has to be up at 3:30, so I gotta get to bed.
Yeah, I gotta start.
Call it a night here.
Yes,
Ran a
sir.
little bit long, but you guys are about halfway through, and we'll just pick up next week right here, I suppose.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
Good.
I gotta figure out a way to do Sex Machina Tohan back into the dungeon. Like, so be prepared for like a ceiling full of murder wasps to explode down on you guys.
Yeah,
That's
that's
very
kind of what I was
possible.
picturing.
I'm not sure how this is gonna go. But all right, I will see you guys all next week. Thanks for playing.
Yep, thank you. Good night,
Thank
guys.
you. You guys have a good night, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.